Tell me, babe, you wanna leave this town? I'm saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. 'Cause darling, we were made for bigger things. This place keeps killing our dreams. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind, yeah. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind. Tell me, babe, you wanna leave this town? I'm saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. 'Cause darling, we were made for bigger things. This place keeps killing our dreams. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind, yeah. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind. Eyes were wide open as he saw me running.
go, let's go. Goodbye, bro.
No!
Let's go.
Yunara's been doing her job for a long time, but centuries of standing guard in the Spirit Realm have only sharpened her resolve and her aim. In-game, Yunara is an ADC for ADCs, with a focus on core marksman skills like spacing and orb blocking. She's all about ramping up power and unleashing it at exactly the right time. So pour yourself some tea and brush up on your ancient Ionian. It's time for the Yunara Champion Spotlight.
The time has come to prune the tree.
Up first, Yunara's passive, Vow to the First Lands. Her critical strikes deal extra magic damage. And now that's it. That's the entire passive. Yunara's Q is Cultivation of Spirit. She gains stacks of Unleash by attacking enemies. At max stacks, Yunara can activate Q to, you guessed it, Unleash for a few seconds. She gains attack speed, bonus damage on hit, and deals splash damage in a small area with each attack. Unleash stacks decay quickly out of combat, so Yunara wants to stay in the fray to stay at her strongest. Next, W is Arc of Judgment. Yunara sends a swirling prayer beat out, which damages and slows enemies as it travels. It slows down any time it hits a target, then lingers and expands at its terminus, continuing to damage enemies who don't get out of the way. For E, Yunara activates Kanmei's Steps, which grants her a quick burst of move speed to chase down enemies, reposition, or dodge skill shots. Now let's focus on her ultimate, Transcend One's Self. With R, Yunara taps into her full power, entering a transcendent state for several seconds that enhances all of her basic abilities for the duration. Her Q, Cultivation of Spirit, instantly activates and empowers her attacks for as long as she's transcended, which is a long duration upgrade. Her W, Arc of Judgment, becomes Arc of Ruin. Instead of a swirling prayer bead, she fires a beam of spirit magic that slows and deals high damage in a line. Finally, her E, Kanmei Steps, becomes Untouchable Shadow. She gains a short dash instead of movement speed, and the ult cast resets the cooldown. She can dive out of danger or right into the fight. When Yunara transcends oneself, her enemies don't have a prayer.
Age of Retribution!
Like many other AD carries, Yunara wants to play safe until she finds the right moment to get aggressive. She's truly powerful with a fully stacked Q. If Cultivation of Spirit is ready to activate, it might be a good time to fight. An even better time to fight? When her ult is up. Her mobility is pretty limited most of the time, so opponents want to lock her down before she goes all Super Kinku mode. Positioning is key here. All that potential power means nothing if she doesn't live long enough to use it. Yunara is meant for you ADC purists. Her ramping power might feel familiar if you like playing Ashe or even Zeri. Basically anyone who likes decimating enemies with a relentless barrage of autos. Find out what more than 200 years of Spirit Realm experience looks like with Yunara, the Unbroken Faith.
Perseverance, patience, providence.
Hello guys, good afternoon, and today is the second day. Day 2 na ng ating Group B for today. We are your casters. I'm Prioles, and together with me is Dadum. How have you been, man?
Super excited, super pumped to be back with you dito sa ating caster desk. And of course, Crioles, I'm super excited to get the show on the road. Liga Republika is back! And it's back and it's even bigger this year. Ang paglikha ng alamat continues today. And it is the play-in stage, qualifier stage, however you want to call it. But the competition is getting tight. We took a look at the teams earlier. Creo off broadcast, we were talking about it. And we got some spicy teams coming in today.
Yeah, when I reviewed yung mga teams na laro for today, I know some familiar teams na alam ko they were pretty good way back. So let's see if they can bring the power again for today.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see ano yung papakitang bago sa atin. Yesterday, we already had day 1. Today is day 2. So we have a new set of teams. And let's take a look at the format dito, Creo.
Okay, so single elimination. So it is all going to be BO1 for today. And we also have the round robin. And then at the very end, we have playoffs, knockout stage.
Yes, of course. So single elimination format natin, guys. We have 4 days in total, and the top 12 teams from the single elimination will go into the group stage, where they will play a round robin. And each and every day, we have 3 days qualifying. So just like yesterday, there's 3 spots up for grabs for our group stage. And I heard, Creo, there's a lot of teams that actually registered for today. I believe there was 17, 18 teams that are gonna be playing in today's matches. Unfortunately, guys, we won't be able to showcase all of them, but we will highlight 3 specific matches that we think are going to be exciting to witness. Speaking of, yesterday, we already had some qualified teams, Creo.
We do have here Ion Global Academy, Sixth Sense, and Divinity. So I did watch some of the games yesterday, and man, still action-packed, and really brings back the old days when we were all grinding League. Man, it's nice to be back in League, man.
Absolutely. It's absolutely nice to have a lot of things culminating together this year, right? At the start of the year, we had the C merger. Nagsama-sama na yung mga servers from all over Southeast Asia. We had the celebration of that. And then we've got the competitive scene sort of making a comeback, or not sort of, but making a big comeback last year with Liga Republika. At ngayon, ipagpapatuloy natin yon sa ating Liga Republika stage. Grander, bigger, and you can see just how beautiful everything is. Guys, nakita nyo naman yung opening intro natin.
Look at that. Good.
ang ganda dito sa, alam mo, Creoles, when I came into this castle where we're casting right now, I was surprised. Like, oh my god, how did we construct a castle just for Liga Republika?
It really looks good, man. Ang ganda, parang royalty, diba? Royalty, bro. Castle. Emphasis on that castle because again, it's all about making your own story. Pagagawa, ayun, the alamat, making your own alamat is going to be the theme for our Liga Republika this year, and legends will be made.
Yeah, of course. And of course, guys, in case you haven't heard, the top team will qualify to the LCP wildcard playoff. So this is essentially a ticket to Worlds for the Philippines. And let's talk about what's at stake here, Creo, the prize pool.
If you can see below, 860,000 is the prize pool for Liga Republika this year. Grabe. Ang laki, Dadum.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? At this point, I would consider the prize pool more of a consolation. Kasi it's the prestige, right? It's the prestige of becoming the top one in the country, representing the competitive scene of the Philippines as a whole. And of course, you've got that honor of representing the country, a chance to get into Worlds as well because of that LCP playoff wildcard opportunity na ngayon lang inabot sa atin. Guys, it's been years since we've had a chance to get into Worlds. And this, I think, is a very, very good start. No, I mean, we talked about the teams who are playing for today. We already saw the teams who qualified yesterday. And I want to say, Creo, the competition is getting tighter. Everyone's getting better, especially since we merged the servers.
Yeah, and I do believe that this is the kickstart. This is the little flame that we are trying to cook here in League PC. And it's a huge stepping stone and where we can all gather again and try to really hype up the league community here in the PH for Liga Republika. And yeah, I mean, League's still globally known and still, I think, one of the best games right now. and having Liga Republika being the competitive scene here in the PH, maganda kasi they know it's still there and they know it's still many things na pwede pa mangyari for League PC here in the PH.
Well, best game, best community, best tournament, everything
server.
napunta sa League of Legends dito, no? And I'm super excited to get this show on the road. So let's get this show going, Creoles. 5 seconds till we get into a bit of a spaceship warp. So tingnan natin ano mangyayari. Let's go.
Yeah, the animation, here we go. And wow, that was majestic.
Absolutely beautiful. Ito, Creo. But let's get the show on the road. Let's get all the shenanigans out of the way. Sa draft phase na agad tayo dito, Creo. We got our first two teams. Sino ba maglalaro dito, Creoles?
But right now we do have Pylon Nameless going against Serene Brew Esports. And man, I kind of looked them up like yesterday. Man, they have something to bring to the table for sure. So,
my big sorry to cut you off now, Creo, but the big question mark for me is this still the same Serene Brew Esports from last year? Talk about Carnage, a star ADC, Lumber, Hasbula, Kalina, Revelate. I mean, a ton of experience. But I'm not sure if this is still the same people. No? Sana sila pa rin to. I want to see what form Serene Brew has coming into Liga Republika. Kasi kung sila pa rin to, Creoles, Pylon Nameless have got a big task up their hand. I think, if I'm not mistaken, no, Pylon might be the same collegiate squad from PUP Manila, no, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Those guys are very respected in the collegiate scene, no. But the last time I saw them was a couple of years ago, and I think majority of the players that I saw from that squad has already graduated. So it's gonna be a big task going up against one of the established names in League of Legends competitive.
I mean, it could be still them, you know, having the... I mean, if they still have the fire in them to play League, maybe it could still be them, so we'll never know. Because we're about to find out later, though, so if it's still Carnage or the old players that we know who plays for the team, man, this is going to be a good game, for sure. So, heading to the draft, though, we do have here Messiah, Poppy, Nocturne. And for the side, we do have here Annie, Yorick, and the Shen. So I would understand having that Shen ban because again, the Stand United will be really turn of tides sa mga clash dito. And it's always having that global presence could make things overthink sa enemy team.
Yeah. Annie getting banned out makes sense as well. I mean, it's one of the things na dini-default ngayon in the meta, no? Faker being one of those players that goes to that Annie. Picked it up in their recent match that went to 5 games against CFO. Gwen getting locked on up here. A bit of an all-rounder sa ating top lane. I mean, really good against Aatrox. Is also really powerful in the meta now. So Renekton could be a potential counter pick dito. Just a battle of skill in the top lane. But I doubt that they'll prioritize that. It's gonna be the Pantheon. For SBE here. Gonna be jungling side for the Pantheon dito for SBE, which is also a good thing. A lot of single target CC, a lot of damage, and really good power levels all throughout the game. Lots of ganking potential as well, especially paired up with the Talia.
And having the Talia, having the presence of the ultimate can really block out the team fight. Yun yung their way on how to separate things, because I think they may focus on having a pick of comp so far. I think that's gonna be one of their moves. But seeing right now, they do have a Vi for the side of Pylon Nameless.
Exactly.
So having that Vi to lock up maybe the back lane on the enemy side, having the Gwen, and of course maybe this Ahri, CCs is gonna be the name of the game here.
Yeah, sabi mo nga, no, Creoles, pick off might be the key for SBE. Well, that's what Pylon Nameless are going to do. They're gonna lock up the Vi for that single target lock up, and then of course got the Ahri for that playmaking potential as well. So this is a
Lord.
classic matchup in the mid lane. No, you got the macro for the Thalia, and then you got the micro for the Ari in a completely different look for either of these squads. I mean, wait lang, let's take a pause at the analysis and admire the 3D for a second.
Yeah, bro. I was like,
Oh my god.
the
These
first
are
time I saw this yesterday, I was like, bro, what?
beautiful.
Everything looks so good, man. So we do have an Ornn here for the side of SBE.
Yep.
So I believe this will be top laner for their side. Going against a Gwen. I don't know about that matchup because we all know Gwen is going to be the anti-tank kind of champion.
Yeah.
Maybe facing Ornn in BRL could be a challenge for this Ornn.
Yeah, could be. But this could be a flex, no? Or it could be flexed around anyway. Could be the support as well.
Could be support, yeah.
Albeit just a little bit harder to execute, but still a lot of tools in that arsenal. Speaking of tools, look at the comp Creoles of SBE so far. Got a Pantheon, they've got a Thalia, they got a lot of CC with that Ornn. 2 global ults already, so that's a lot of ganking potential, a lot of team fight potential, even before the laning phase ends. And they get that key Varus. Varus, one of the strongest ADCs in the meta right now. Very versatile, you can pair it up with almost any support. And very safe as well. Actually, one of the safest too, despite being immobile. So I love this pick.
Yeah.
A lot of CC for Serene Brew.
Yeah, even though Varus does lack a little bit of mobility, having that damage that he can contribute to the clash, Chain of Corruption, getting the CCs, and just the overall damage of his piercing arrow, that could be one of the keys on having that pick-off style I think that they are trying to make.
I am not sold by the Jinx pick though. I gotta say, Creoles, I would have rather much seen something a little bit more safe because they have enough damage anyway. They got a Gwen, they got an Ari, they got a Vi as well. I would have preferred something like an Ezreal or maybe a Corki for Pylon if they want a little bit more in the damage dealing department. But having a Jinx just leaves them a little bit vulnerable, especially considering Crayon na meron tayong Pantheon in the game. No? Emilio will be making things a little bit easier for the bot side of Pylon Nameless. But speaking of making things easier, that's the Karma secured for SBE. A ton of poke potential for the SBE bot side and a lot of pick-off potential as well. And this is looking very scary from SBE, Creo.
I've been on a bot lane against a Varus and a Karma, and trust me, there's gonna be a lot of obstacles to dodge in that bot lane. Bro, I can't even farm. It's just a huge obstacle that I need to like live on that lane. But again, having this Milio on the side of PN is gonna be a huge help. Having I think 3 CCs from SBE, Milio could really disrupt the CCs, and having Jinx as the ADC can enhance the range of the basic attacks. So they needed that for sure, because they're gonna have a tough time in bot lane. That's for sure.
Yeah. All things considered, Crayon, no, it's not that the composition of Pylon Nameless is bad. It's a good comp. I like their comp actually. It's 4 all in. You got the Vi, you got the Gwen, you got the Ari. These are all in champions. So you kind of want to go in and commit to the fight. Now the problem is when you consider the composition dito ng SBE. They've got Varus, they've got Karma, they've got Pantheon that can poke as well. All of those 3, coupled with the Thalia too. Grabe yung poke nila, no? They could just play from a distance. They could bait a lot of the utility, a lot of the ults dito ng Pylon, and then disengage. The one thing that SBE has that Pylon does not is that disengage. They have a Karma for that. They have a lot of survivability that is refreshing. Ang bilis lang ng cooldowns ng Karma compared to Emilio. When you exhaust the ult, it's done and dusted. Pwede ka nang pasukin ulit ng isang it's a Horn of the Forge God dito. No, so it's scary because SBE's comp is, I feel like, more rounded. They've got a lot more tools compared to Pylon Nameless that's got one specific purpose in mind, that's going in. What if the all-in doesn't work? That's what scares me here.
I was about to mention that if it doesn't work out, because if you check out again the comp for the side of PN, they don't really have a solid front compared to compared to SBE, where they have an Ornn, a Pantheon. But again, we will see. I'm pretty sure they plan things out about the draft, and if it works, it works. So I'm very excited about this game. First game on our stream right now, guys. Shout out to our beloved 114 viewers in our Facebook live stream. And you guys, if you want shoutouts, man, we are here to read your comments about your thoughts about the game and anything you want to say.
Yeah, guys. Pagka may downtime kami ni Creoles, we'll shout out whoever you want to shout out dyan sa comments. Also, make sure to support your team, support the players, and show your love for the community. Creoles and I will try our best to read them out, especially dyan sa ating YouTube comments then. Make sure to comment kung sino gusto nyo i-shoutout dyan and show your support for our team. Are you rooting for Pylon Nameless or are you rooting for SBE? Or are you rooting for my dear friend Keolis dito?
Hey.
So let's show them down in the comments down below. And I can't wait to get this party started. And I love it too, yung timing ng Liga Republika dito, Creo, no? Kasabay ng MSI. Imagine a Filipino team one day could be an MSI by qualifying in Worlds. I mean,
it is possible. It's all about having the heart and determination, man. Anything is possible. Tsaka maganda rin as again, we have this in the PH. Liga Republika is here to really showcase the talents of the players in the PH, and of course yung community na still supporting hard, still here, and still having the will on the game.
Of course. I mean, I think that's one thing that will never go away.
It will never go away.
The community to exist, right?
Yeah.
But of course, guys, we'd be better. We are loving the support that everyone is showing, and I love that there's been a ton of viewership, not just in League of Legends, but in Wild Rift. I've seen a lot of the support for Wild Rounds currently happening as well. No, so if you're a Wild Rift fan, make sure to check that out as well. Wild Rounds is currently happening as alongside Liga Republika.
Yeah, right now.
And then we got MSI ongoing. I think mamayang gabi, no, MSI. But there's a lot of stuff happening for League of Legends, and I can't be happier. My league heart is happy because the game is about to start, Creo. Let's make some predictions real quick. Matanong lang kita. If this, let's assume that this is the collegiate squad that is Pylon and the same old squad as Serene Brew. What's your prediction?
I think it is going to be a little bit ahead on the side of SBE based again on their lineup. But yeah, we're going to see how things goes. How about you?
I'm not particularly sure if these are the same players. Kasi there's a real chance, there's a very real chance, Creo, na they're just using different accounts.
Maybe.
Because I remember the last time that the old squad from Serene Brew played, the one with Lumber and the Kalina, was in September of last year.
Yeah.
So this could be the remnants of the same squad. I'm not particularly sure, but this, no matter what, is still SBE. Still a coveted org, has been making rounds across the PH competitive scene. A quick look on the runes dito as we will take a gander at what the playstyle is going to be. It's gonna be a completely poke-oriented bot lane dito. Arcane Comet.
Yeah, I want the
para dun
Varus.
sa Varus.
So,
exactly.
Because the thing with Varus though, pwede kasi siya iba't ibang playstyle. You can be DPS, you can be on hit, you can also be poke type, lethality type. I think he's the most complete in DC in the game.
Yep.
It can be so versatile with him. And having a poke type Varus together with a Karma, obstacle galore talaga dyan sa bot lane.
And it's even scarier for Chansey too on this Jinx. Because he's a Jinx. You have to hyper scale into the late game.
True, that's true.
Which is of course a good thing for the Jinx. It's one of the best scalers in the game. But it takes so much time. And especially at this point of the meta where, you know, pickoff is really, really good. You got things like Annie in the meta, Pantheon in the meta. Sobrang daming tools yung pwede gamitin just to shut down this Jinx, no? So it's a heavy task for Chansey for sure. And you're gonna have to play really safe on this bot lane. And so far, it's been quiet. Wala tayong early skirmish dito. Both teams just playing more towards the safe side of things. Matchup of the top lane, it is going to be that Ornn versus the Gwen combo, which in my opinion, Creola, is actually not that bad for the Ornn, no, until much later on. Until perhaps the 3-item mark where an Ornn could be shredded by a Gwen. And by that time, I think the laning phase would be
there we
over
go.
anyway.
I was just saying about that. You see the Jinx. Facing the obstacle we were talking about. Yeah, that's going to be a hard thing for Jinx. So you're a late gamer and you need to get that scale early on. Having troubles in laning phase could be a big challenge for the Jinx. So they really need to coordinate with the jungler to gank them and make it a bit easier on their bot side, as we see medyo labog sila eh sa bot side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and look at this beautiful ward in the Raptors area by SBE. Good lane control by R1D. Giving Senorita a lot of the information. Nakita niya agad kung saan nagpapat si Skid Row dito. Giving him a bit of a hint. Bot side might be the priority for Skid Row. And the problem is, Pantheon's got a way better early game ganking potential compared to Vi. There's a lot more damage, a lot more single target priority. And because of the poke of Mochiyu, pwedeng bumaba dito si Senorita. Look, complete information on Skid Row. Try Bush getting showed, and they're gonna get the bot side.
Trying to, they disengage. So, yeah, I do agree on what you said. But the thing is, they do have the better gank potential for the Pantheon. Pero the lane's too deep.
Yeah.
For them. So having Pantheon with the ultimate go into the tower, I don't think that's going to be a good idea. So they may need to freeze lane, control the lane to make it work.
Yeah.
Kasi labog na labog kasi yung bot lane eh.
Exactly. So far, just a standard playstyle from SBE. They're just poking. And as you would expect with a poke bot lane, they will have priority most of the game. First blood goes through in the mid lane as Eason gets downed by the Pantheon.
Yeah, we do have
a good start for SBE.
Off-cam kill, and it's going to be, again, first blood from the side of SBE. And, yeah, good start. But, having this, again, the battle between Gwen and Ornn, because I've been there several times already. If you're a tanky Baron laner or top lane here in PC, Gwen's the perfect counter for that. And it's going to be a challenge because you can't even go near. For Ornn, he does have a little bit range poke, but not much damage. So it's going to be hard. But again, in this bot lane, if you can see the HP of Jinx getting really low. Well, they do have a little bit of heal from the Milio, but it's not much though. It's all about that range. It's all about the little shield that Milio can offer. But yeah, it is still true that the poking potential is pretty good here for the side of SBE.
And I think ultimately this is a consequence of that drafting. Pylon, I think, should have prioritized banning away the Varus. Sobrang versatile kasi ni Varus in the current state of the meta. And this is one of the consequences. You just get poked out across the lane, and Senorita has free reign. I mean, you talk about the hardship upon Ornn being up against the Gwen. But the thing is, because of that bot lane priority of the Varus and the Karma, pwedeng mag-roam paulit-ulit si Senorita on the top side. So give a lot of the attention towards the Forgotten, and that deficit will be almost gone. Just a 4 CS difference between Hikari and Forgotten because of the presence of Senorita. Nagpakita lang siya dun sa top lane kanina. Medyo napalayo na si Hikari. And now the dragon will be spawning. It's gonna be an Ocean Drake, so not a lot of priority I would expect from either side. Void Grubs isn't up yet anyway, and SBE already building up a bit of a lead dito. Top lane, a bit of a skirmish.
Okay. So, yeah, I see the damage already here for the side of the Gwen, but okay, trying to get the ward. We have Skid Row trying to get some damage here. Getting tried to prio, but the pet is there, but it's going to get stunned on the Vi. As Vi in trouble, Jinx trying to free hit. There's going to be another kill here for the Varus. And things are really going well. Oh my god, the range. The range, the poke. Jinx in trouble. Shamsi trying to mess to do anything that he could do. And that's going to be a short kill. Another. Okay. I was waiting for the piercing arrow to get off the Varus.
Not needed.
But
not needed, Creo.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a free Drake for the side of SBE. Good gank. The bot jungler's in time for that gank in the bot side. And yeah, good things happen here for the side of SBE.
Bad to worse here for Pylon Nameless. So Skid Row coming in with the early gank. But Senorita even better with the response. And that was what I was talking about. Skid Row, yes, a very solid ganker, but as a Vi, you have to fully commit to the fight. As we saw, SBE, nag-back off lang silang konti, poked away by Mochi and Zevi, and then nung bumalik sa Senorita, they full commit. Nag-flash forward pa nga sa Zevi for the double in the piercing arrow, and SBE take 4 kills and a Drake. It could not get much better for SBE for that early game engagement. They take the first Drake, Creo, and they also take a 2.3k gold lead before even the 8-minute mark. This is looking real good for SBE. But I do have to say, mas maganda yung scaling ng Pylon Nameless dito. Having the Varus go poke means that the scaling will be better eventually for the Jinx.
Yeah.
But the question is, can they get to the late game?
Yeah, they need the late game because Jinx, again, having a late game champion who struggled early on already. That's why if you notice, they did a little switch on the lanes. Where we do have it becoming the Orn. And the Panther top side in trouble once again. Talia and Jinx, I think will be safe on this one. But on the river, someone's not going to be safe. It's going to be Emilio going down as the Void Grubs are up to take here for the side of SBA.
Perfect timing from both the Pantheon and that Talia, but Likari going in.
Okay. We have double damage again here at the bottom side of the river. Someone's getting low. Senorita is going down. Pantheon is down. No more jungler for the side of SPA. And this could be a big opportunity for Nameless PN to take the grubs.
Yeah, actually good decisive play from PN there to shut down Senorita. Perfect timing too for the grubs. So a good counter punch. But at the end of the day, it's still 1-for-1 trade. Buti na lang sa Senorita yung hinuli nila doon, giving them this big objective of the grubs. So Nameless biting back as they take all 3 grubs for themselves. But the trade is going to be a kill for a kill. And Zeve getting turret plating. I'm not sure if it's Zeve, Heve, sorry. Please correct me if I'm butchering the name.
Yes,
but at the end of the day,
yeah.
At the end of the day, I would consider that an even trade, no? And now Senorita looking for more, Cleo.
And we do see here trying to engage once again. Senorita trying to get swift as he gets trapped there from the trap of Jinx. And it's going to be a good disengage for the side of PN. But having this Varus get those plates in the bot side, getting him skill as well, that's going to be spelling some trouble for them. But someone is aiming to the bot side, and it's going to be an easy kill. Right now, Chevy on a rampage, having a wonderful 4-0 KDA on his Varus.
And right now, SBE, just the vision is making the difference. Even when the game started, they already tracked
and it's
where
bot
Skid
side
Row.
again. We have here the Ari in trouble, getting the poke here from the Karma. Varus ready for that piercing arrow as... Okay, we got the charm. Tower is nearby, but that's going to be enough. And the piercing arrow hits the job done. And that's going to be another kill here for the side of Chevy, having a 5-0 KDA.
Yeah, 1-for-1 tayo dito, Creo. But the thing is, Seve getting all the kills in the world. 5-0-0 on the Varus. And again, it's the vision. That's the headache for Pylon Nameless. Lagi silang nagagank kasi wala silang vision ng river. Wala silang vision ng sarili nilang red buff. Oh, look at how deep the control wards go for SBE. And Pylon Nameless, they have no reign over their own jungler. And over their own jungle, rather. At ngayon, 3,000 gold lead para sa SBE by sheer map control. I love the rotations as well for SBE. The proactiveness of using the Pantheon ult and the Talia ult. Na by the way, both available ngayon.
Yeah, and going back to the warding, you can see on the minimap how much they have wards on the side of SBE, having controlling on the river. And I mean, just basically waiting on that Vi on the lower side of the red buff was a huge thing for them to really having that power spike that they need on their EDC. But right now, we do have a bit of engage here in the mid lane. Oh, pokes again, look at the Jinx getting low. But yeah, if you really feel being that Jinx on that situation, I don't even know where to move, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much choice para kay Chansey dito. No? Just play safe. Buy time as much as you can. At least stay alive. Chevy on the bot side 1v1.
We have
not even afraid of the
kill.
Ari. As Swift
So,
goes down. Yeah.
It is going to be another kill here for the side of SBE. Still controlling the game so far, 8-2. As yeah, I feel the struggle. So I think they need to regroup, try to create better plays, better warding for the side of PN, because right now they are having a little bit of big trouble already here at the 11 minutes of our game, almost at 12 minutes.
I think a little bit of trouble, Creo, is a little bit of an understatement. Because this boat from Pylon Nameless is sinking. R1D pushing up. Muntik nang mahuli si Skid Row, but that's very scary. When you have the jungler and the mid laner contesting for Raptors at 12 minutes, you know that your team is in trouble.
So, yeah, I do crack myself there. So, they are in trouble right now as we do see the dragon being taken again here for the side of SBE. I think they will contest. Skid Row is behind the pit. As the dragon already at 1/4 health. Will they risk it? We do have here Swift. Skid Row is going to be secured again for the side of SBE. Had to flash out of trouble. And that's going to be the second Drake for the side of SBE.
Yeah, Pylon Nameless, they just couldn't get anything. A good attempt from Skid Row. Having to invest everything, but couldn't find nothing. Like Hari, 1v1.
Okay. So they tried to have a little bit poke here and there, a little bit duel The Gwen is a bit lower on the side of the health, but yeah, they need to make something happen here for PN. So I think they need to do the pick us strat that they tried to do. Because I think that's the only thing they can do right now. Because they can't really win in team fights yet at this current state of the game. So they need to make some make the enemy force errors on this game to maybe make things happen for them.
And besides, yung composition dito ng PN, no, specifically tailored for pickoffs. So kahit behind sila, I think they could still attempt a pickoff onto maybe Cheve, maybe even on the Orn. Madami naman silang single target damage as R1D gets charged.
Oh, in this mid lane, we got the early from the Vi, but we got two members here from SBE. Vi is going to be in trouble, but it's going to be a casualty for the side of SBE as Talia goes down.
Yeah, good pick off there. That's what we're talking about dito, Creon. No? Look for initiatal kills, or rather, look for single target kills. That's exactly what they did there.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, bro.
R1D or
yeah,
Rid.
they need that. They need to utilize this Vi pick for the side of PN because they could lock down one, pick off one, and that could be maybe the turning point that they need in this game.
And
So
I think AESN has to rotate around the map a little bit more. Grabe kasi yung combo ng isang charm along with the Vi, no? You can essentially
really
have a
lock it down,
3 second, 4 second stun almost. So it's still very effective despite being behind, no? You do still have a lot of damage anyway, just single item pickups for majority of the players.
Senorita hunting down El Hikari here with our Chevy also well in top side. And it's going to be a 3v2. We have a stun here on the Gwen. And Hikari trying his best to survive. The team is there. Talia going to be going down as they are both really fighting back. The damage is still quite big here for the side of SBE, having that poke potential. And everyone from the side of PN trying to get back on their tower, trying to beat them. But the area that's going down though, finding back the Jinx! This could be the moment that they were looking for as Chevy gets down. It's going to be a double kill for the side. And that is the power spike that they needed the most here for PN.
Chansey with the cleanup, and PN are back in this game. Majority of their skills going to the Jinx. The moment that the Jinx gets excited, Creo, wala na nagawa ang SBE. A little bit messy on the team fighting. They should have backed off the moment they got the first kill. And then they got another. Mochiyu going down, got the Jinx excited, and then getting the 4 kills afterwards. That was a big fumble for SBE. Let's take a look at that one more time. They should have backed up the moment they got the kill onto the Ari,
And
but then
all
Chansey
low,
got the kill. Yeah, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 for the Jinx at this point. Senorita could not get the stun on him anymore because of the fast movement speed of the Jinx. And that's a big fumble. SBE has to minimize those mistakes, but PN, they're back in the game. 700 gold behind. Barely any lead for SBE anymore.
Yeah, I believe they get a little bit greedy on that wanting to get more kills because they got a casualty already. They got one down and they are near the tower. Quite risky to make a dive, but they risked it. So that's going to be the turning point that PN was looking for. As I mentioned earlier, they need to make the enemy team have errors, and that's the error that they made, which made the Jinx have 3 kills already in the game.
Yeah, sabi dito ni Senti sa comments, PN will win late game if they focus on scaling. That's correct. If they focus on the team fights, if Chansey gets items, PN definitely has the advantage in the late game, especially because hindi naka on-hit build si Cheve.
Look at that damage though. Just having that poke from the Jinx on the Averas already at almost 1/4 health. They really need to make this Jinx go crazy again and get more items because having the Jinx passive, having the attack speed and the movement speed could be really scary. And yeah, they need it as we do see people venturing here to the mid lane. They could have a potential fight. Senorita on the side.
Yeah, I think at this point, SBE are just baiting PN to rotate towards that mid lane. Meanwhile, 2 of their side laners pushing up, which is really good for SBE. You know, as long as it stays in this lull state, they will be getting that priority on the side lanes while baiting 3 or 4 players of PN.
In the mid lane, we got here in trouble. The Emilio forces the ultimate just to survive that one, and that was close.
Yeah,
that was really close.
Yeah,
The
good bailout
dragon
from Swift. But the
has
dragon,
spawned
as you
already.
said, spawning dito, Creoles, and SBE have a choice to make.
Yeah,
Do they go for the fight or do they go for the dragon?
I think they should challenge this one, but We see SB already at the position as Orn melting down already at the front. You have the Pantheon at the back. We'll try to get the back lane, but the Orn will be going down. Damage is going to be the key here for the side of PN. Chansey now on their rampage, getting this Pantheon down here at the mid side, and things are looking way better here for PN. Senorita, I don't think we'll be surviving this one. It's going to be another kill. Shamsi, big old Shamsi kill there on that mid lane.
And Chansey goes unstoppable. 3 kills, 4 kills for PN after that wonky invade and engage from SBE. And again, PN, good proactivity. Skid Row getting the cease and desist onto the Forgotten. Granted, Orn yung inult niya, but that's okay. As long as they can take at least one person, Chansey will get excited and then will stop mopping up the crew. Let's take a look at that again. The engage was beautiful from Skid Row. Flashes forward just to get the kill onto the Orn, and then look at Chansey. Isa-isa lang niyang pininterya yung mga players ng SBE, and they're not done. Chansey almost going down, but crucially, the Jinx stays alive.
And we all glazed on this Jinx earlier, and right now, speaking up here to the table, Jinx finally getting some momentum in this game. But going back to that clash, I like what the Pantheon did. Tried to flank, but unfortunately, their front is already melting at the same time he flanked. So it didn't really work out for them.
This time, the game in control of Pylon Nameless. And nakita natin kanina yung item highlight no between Chansey and Jeve. Kanina, equal pa yung gold nila. At this point, Chansey is pulling ahead. Jeve just completed his second item, hasn't even gotten to the fully stacked Muramana. So, he's behind. He's running behind now. And Chansey, remember, is the key to all of this, Creo. Si Chansey yung iniintay natin mag-scale. And guess what?
She's scaling right now.
She's half an item away from being 3 items complete on the Jinx. And at this point, she already looks unstoppable. Couple that with Skid Row's amazing engages and Hikari on the flank. And SBE are running into all sorts of trouble. 20 minutes into the game, and it already feels like late game dito, Creo. Atakan spawning on the bot side. But at this point, it's the dragons that are of most importance for both of these squads. I think we have 1 dragon apiece, if I'm not mistaken, no? But rather, 1 dragon for PN, 2 for SBE. But it's a race for the souls. Cheve going for the engage against Swift. No ult available yet.
Getting a bit of aggression. The damage though, oh my god. From Cheve. Oh, we got a lock it here. Oh, that's Varus in trouble. Cheve forces him out. But we do see the Tully at the back. Swift getting low. Shamsi trying to get the free hits. As we do have to see at the upper side. Vi will be going out easily on that one. Swift. And yeah, that was going to be, I think, a mistake that the Vi did. Again, tried to make a flank play that didn't really work out on that one. So the Drake is up. I think this will be taken for the side of Atacon will be taken for the side of SBE.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like a kind of a confusing clash, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good engage for Skid Row, but an even better response from Senorita. Zinone ni Senorita yung back lane dito, yung back line ni Chansey and ni Swift, just with the Pantheon holding the shield up. Hindi nalapitan si Cheve despite being engaged on by the Vi. So na-isolate si Skid Row. The entire team of SBE focusing on the Vi made sure na hindi makakapasok dito yung bot lanes. Chansey, remember, Chansey is the key. If Chansey doesn't get a chance to free hit, SBE are most certainly going to win the team fight. That's exactly what happened there. It was Senorita fending off that bot lane duo of Chansey and Swift, and na-isolate nila si Skid Row. Because of that, they take down the jungler and they take down a big objective. That's good scaling for SBE, good team fight. But at this point, they have to continue punishing those engages for PN because if mag-scale lang ang PN dito, they will eventually get the upper hand. Remember, Chansey is just a few hundred gold away from securing the 3rd item, and SBE, once we reach that point, it's gonna be really hard to come back from.
And this is the top side. We do see here that Ari might be having trouble here. As okay, maybe that's gonna be the wrong bush it was going to. Okay, the charm. It's gonna be 4-1 here. Ari will be going down easily. Cheve gets another kill.
Yeah, another
and the wrong bush.
Pick-off. Yeah, a good pick-off here again for SBE, and crucial mistake from the PN mid laner. Asen had no business being that deep in the enemy jungle without any vision. Yung vision nila nasa river lang across the Baron pit. And that's not enough to get information. Used the ult, didn't have flash, didn't survive. And now, the Forgotten, doing a better job of guessing where the enemy is. But SBE, doing a good job. Actually, SBE, pinapunish lang nila yung mistakes ng PN, no? If they keep doing this, if PN keep making mistakes, I think SBE are still gonna be able to have a chance at the next team fights.
And right now, they are kind of getting this game at their side, but having those crucial mistakes can really cost them the game. Because the Jinx already having almost 3 items, having the damage already. But for me, they need to work on their map control, map like ward locations, ward placements, because that's where they lack. They don't know where the enemies are.
But at this point, no, we're not in the late game yet. I mean, we're kind of in the mid to late game-ish phase. Pero the sheer tankiness of the Ornn and the jungler dito, Senorita, is just too chunky to deal with. But
both teams
Dragon
will try
Dance.
to get this Dragon Dance here on the roll. Chevy might be going to the wrong bush. They're all... We've got engaged here at the side. We got Chevy only by the buy. And the damage in the middle. We got, oh my god, the damage from the Jinx. Just raiding on his parade. We got the Vans going down already for the side of SBE. And just the moment of the free hits, I saw Chomsy getting those free hits. I smell trouble already for the side of SBE, but they will still challenge this dragon. Go in, try to front everyone there. It's gonna be a secure dragon for the side of SBE. There we go. Damage again from the free hit of the Jinx. The guy will be going down as Jinx. This is it. The power spike is on as it's gonna be a 4-4-2 trade on that dragon fight.
Yeah, 4-for-2. PN, a good force to take out the fight for SBE, and a big flank from Asen. That's what made this fight very convincing from PN. Ang ganda ng flank ni Asen doon, drawing attention from SBE, and they couldn't focus on a single point, paving the way for Chansey again to deal damage. And again, the engage from Skid Row, perfectly timed with the flank of Asen, gave them a big objective and a big fight once more. Muntik pang maka-ace doon si Chansey, but they take the Drake, they take the objective, and another big fight for PN. When it comes to the team fights, SBE are losing right now, and they have to do a better job of forcing, of being more proactive, because if they take down at least one player of PN, siguradong lugi na sila. Remember, they don't have a front line, so every number matters, every champion matters here for PN. SBE, all they have to do is pick off at least one player. Look for Asen, look for Skid Row, look for anyone from PN. But if they don't, the team fight goes in the way of PN.
Yeah, and I believe earlier on that Dragon Dance, we do see Chevy kind of overstanding on that check bush, because that gave away the position of the team. So that was a good opportunity for Skid Row to lock him down on that fight. As right now, trying to ward up this Baron Pit, as we do have 3 items. By the way, guys, 3 items already on this Jinx with 715 KDA. That is scary for the side of SBE. So they had a great early game, and we can't really say much about that, but they need now to recompose themselves and try to recover from all those losses that they had.
Yeah, important to remember para sa SBE, they're not out of this game yet. It's just 1,000 gold lead at this point, and most of that lead is not dito sa Jinx.
Trying to get the Gwen down, but having that Blasco and save the life there on that Gwen.
Yeah, you can see SBE. Nag-a-attempt talaga sila dito makahanap ng pick-off. As PN
for the Baron. We do see the Forgotten is nearby. Also, the Talia getting the visions for their team. As Baron already at half health, I think they will contest. Okay, then on the backside though, we can still have Hikari trying to make distraction, but I think this distraction may be going to a bad side, and the C will be going down. And at the mid side, we do see several people going low here from the side of PN. As the Vi will try to lock down the Ornn in the middle, and that's going to be a mistake. Chevy gets the Vi down as they want to go more. Chevy chasing down the Emilio. It's going to be another kill here. Double kill for Chevy.
A double for Chevy and 3 kills for SBE, Creo. They finally make the right decision. Shut down the flank and then take the fight to the enemy. El Hikari was such a big headache, so SBE nag-decide sila, sige, habulin natin tong Gwen, and then we turn to the other side, and they got 2 more kills. 3 in total on top of the Baron. SBE are back in control.
And for the, again, they like having this flank plays. But I do understand the potential of the flank plays. But the way they executed the flank play on Gwen kinda just made things worse for them on that team fight. Because he got low quickly. And I think that was to be the distraction that they want to have. It just really cost them the team fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about PN, yes, they can go for the 4-1 split, but they don't have the tank to do so. They don't have the numbers to do so. They need to be tankier to be able to flank like that. And sure, Ikari is a Gwen, very mobile, can survive in a 1v1, but in a 5v1, Gwen's got nothing to do much there. As Ikari will fall down early, and there's not much they could do there, as Mochi Yu somehow takes a kill onto the counterpart support. Okay, as SBE marches down the mid lane of Pylon Nameless. 5-man strong, Baron buff minions. What can Pylon do, Creo?
I think right now they could just def the inner towers of their base. I think it's okay for them to give away the outer towers, just def the base towers. As they really have not much choice right now, as having the Baron buff on the minions, having the power of pushing the towers. Just def right now and burn the Baron and maybe try to set up a good team fight, as the tower will be going down here for the side of PN at the middle, and they will be getting this inhibitor and a tower here for the side of SBE. But in the top side, Ikari trying to make things happen for the side of PN, trying to push the lanes at the top side, as at the back they try to recall. Okay, this could be a play. Misses the chain of corruption, but the Pantheon full of force on this Vi. And here's going to be another team fight, as we have here trouble for the side of PN as they disengage on this one. But on the top side, Gwen, Hikari making history here on this game, trying to make a little statement, as I can see this could be trouble. But yeah, it's going to be safe here for Hikari, because they burned the chain of corruption for Barriers. They have no CC. They missed the ultimate from the Pantheon. And they need to regroup on this one. Oh, it gets a knock up here from the Aura, and that's going to be another. Oh, okay. Surviving at the 1 HP. Hikari lost him. What?
Yeah, I like the decision making here, but PN losing another objective, as the Infernal Drake will be taken by Senorita on SBE's side. That is another Drake in the pocket of SBE as they reset for the repush down into the base of Pylon Nameless. Kidro holding the line, but what can this Vi do, Creo?
Vi trying to, which missed the chain of corruption, as they have several time here to defend. Good, by the way, good buy time from the Gwen on that chase down that they did. Really bought enough time for the peeps to regroup and def the base. But for the side of SBE, they are in a good pace right now. And all I can do is maybe wait for the next objective or find a great opportunity to have a team fight. But in the base, yeah, that's going to be easy to def by SBE.
Finding a bit of finesse over the last couple of engages. No, I like the decision making from PN actually. Just buy time.
I like the courage of what the Gwen did.
Exactly. Buy time for Hikari. Let Hikari push the top side. But the problem is he's a Gwen, and there's not a lot of pushing power for the Gwen. So even though PN bought a bit of time for the push, hindi pa rin nakahanap ng more than just the inhibitor here for Hikari. So it's just a state of inhibitor. At the end of the day, PN losing a couple of players in the process as SBE stay ahead. But because of that play, PN get a lot of map control. Puts them in contention for potentially the next Baron dito, Creo, no, which is happening in 2 minutes. So the goal now for Pylon Nameless is to stay alive for 2 minutes, stay afloat for 2 minutes, and then contest the Baron.
I mean, if you look at the item check right now, Jinx already has IE. It's already the late game Jinx that they were looking for. So protect the Jinx, get him to the right position, and lock down maybe the Varus for the side of SBE. And if you're side of SBE, again, you are in momentum right now. So your main goal is just to limit mistakes, and yeah, just whatever is in the front, just go for it, because they don't have the CC. They don't really need to force themselves to the back lane. So yeah, let's see how they connect on this place.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, Creo, mas malakas yung map control ng SBE at this
Oh,
point.
look at that damage though.
Play the map.
Freaks.
Play the poke. Exactly. The Varus here, buy time, look for more, boom. And this is a pesky Varus to play with. Senorita with the poke as well. And this is SBE doing the macro right. PN have to be more proactive. They have to start looking for fights. Shut down these players for SBE. Kasi the longer na hindi sila nag-engage, mapapokes lang sila ng mapapok dito, Creo.
And I like what they're doing here for the pokes. They're utilizing their lineup well on the situation because they know they're ahead. They're trying to get the tower down on the top side. Having the pokes from Varus and the Karma, it's gonna be trouble and the struggle for the side of PN. So they just really need to utilize it well, and yeah, they can get this into them. As the top side will be going down for the side of SBA.
Yeah, I think Pylon Nameless have to press
Yeah,
the button.
they need to make plays
Exactly.
because the Jinx is already Jinx in this
Skidrow
game
looking
right
for
now.
Something. Hinahabol niya si Rid on the bot side. Has no vision of where the Vi is coming from, but they decide to call it off as the Baron already spawning up. Because of that shove from SBE on the top side, mas may control lang sa Baron. No vision from PN, so they have to try and establish a little bit of control on the Baron pit, but that is dangerous.
Okay.
Look at the position of Swift.
Swift might be oh my god, that damage though from Varus and the Karma.
Charm.
He got the Varus on Charm.
Chevy.
Oh my god, just burst it down. The area also the vital but with a Chevy again with this Varus. It's gonna be just a little bit 1 inch away, and that's gonna be under the casualty down on the side of PN.
Good macro from SBE forces out some plays from PN that gives them a very, very big loss. 3 kills for SBE. Skid Row being one of those means that the Baron is up for grabs, and the key for that, map control. Beautiful macro play
I
from
like
SBE.
what they did there, man. The way that they know, because I think that was a little bit mistake the side of Swift on checking, but they did well on that because the Varus does have the edge of night. Also, yeah, was able to negate everything that Vio tried to go on him.
Yeah.
So good job there for the side of SBE.
Yeah, the thing about that is, kaya walang choice yung Pylon eh. They had to check for Baron because they couldn't give that away. Remember, that was their 1-win condition.
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Now they have to play for Elder, which isn't spawning for, I think, the next 10 minutes or so.
I like how you said, now it's gone.
Well, that's the truth. And SBE, the way they did that is by brains. Very nice macro play from SBE. They just shoved the top lane and then they forced the vision from Swift, who had to face check on the Baron pit.
Yeah.
He got taken down. Hikari running away.
Hikari trying to make everything that they can. We got the lock up here. Hikari will be going out easily on that one.
Yeah, Chevy unstoppable and another TP
TP
coming on!
Oh! He TP'd for the death!
No!
Alam mo yung kahalabas mo na bilang boom. Not even 1 second of life was made on that one.
Yeah. SBE running away with
we have the
this
ultimate
game.
coming from Pantheon. They want more. Swift will try to survive, but survival is not planned on that one for them. And things are going smoothly for the side of SBE as the bot tower will also be going down. Power spike, 70k compared to 60k. 10-point gap on the gold lead.
Pylon Nameless, it's time to face the music, and there's just 2 players left standing. Skid Row, Chansey, what can you do? It's the Jinx with 5 items completed. It's the test of time, but he gets rooted and destroyed, Creoles. Serene Brew Esports will be taking down Pylon Nameless. They're out for blood, and they take the first win of the day.
Wow. Woo! SBE Serene Brew Esports.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautifully executed, and the
was
way they
good.
did it is by brain power, essentially. We talk about PN having to be proactive. They need to look for a fight, but iniwasan lang ng SBE. Nag-shove sila ng top lane. They grouped up together. They denied the fight by sticking together, shoving the lane, and forcing Swift to make an awkward play. They did, and Swift just got destroyed. Kahit nag-flash si Swift, he just still got destroyed on the Milio because of that beautiful map play of Serene Brew. And at the end of the day, Macro wins it all.
Yeah, I think they're really smart on the maximizing their comp because they know the Jinx is going to be trouble already. Having, I think, 4 items, right? There are 5 items, I may be mistaken, But yeah, they know they can't really do team fights yet because they're playing safe for the side of PN. So they just push the side lanes, try to negate from trouble. And if they saw that one opportunity again on that check map on the side of the Baron, when they saw Swift, that was the opportunity, and they take it, and they took it hard.
Yeah.
For the side of nameless for the side of Serene Brew Esports. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was nicely done as well, right? How clean they're able to do that. The decisiveness from Serene Brew. Honestly, it wasn't the cleanest of games for Serene Brew. The early game, while they did get the advantage, they kind of lost it at the middle part from that skirmish on the top side na nakabawi, naka 4 kills si Chansey, no? But then the late game, they decided to, or they managed to get it all together and get the calls going for themselves now. So still a lot of mistakes for SBE, not the cleanest of games, but they managed to pull through in the end. Let's take a look at the game stats here, a deeper look into the numbers, Creo.
Okay.
And it is at the end of the day an 11,000 gold lead for Serene Brew. Still a very decisive lead for SBE.
Yeah, and I just really like how they controlled the map. The map awareness, the way they warded the map, really gave all the opportunity for them to open up. And yeah, I really like. Okay, let me just get this off my chest. I like this game because it was like a roller coaster game. As there were some signs where SB were up. There was time when PN was up. We just don't know what's gonna happen till the very last fight that really put a nail in the coffin for the side of Pylon Nameless.
Yeah, and it's mostly because of a lot of the mistakes on both sides. No, at the end of the day, it's Serene Brew that managed to pull it together and minimize those mistakes, make the right calls, deny the win conditions of Pylon Nameless, which is the objectives, the Barons, and they managed to pull through. Serene Brew, I love the calling here. And at the end of the day, it is still the Varus, the ADCs that dealt a majority of the damage. As we take a look at the ban recap, I really think Pylon Nameless should have banned the Varus. Sobrang versatile kasi ng isang Varus no? I mean, it wasn't an ADC diff at the end of the day, to use League of Legends terms dito. But the Varus, I think, was just too big of a headache for Pylon Nameless to have not banned. I think they should have just
the
banned
pokes.
Varus.
If you see the damage that the Varus Q can do, the piercing arrow, that's gonna be like 1/4 of your health gone. That quick. Also with the karma, just pokes galore, man. We called this from the start. The pokes are gonna be the biggest upside for the side of SBE, and they use it quite good on that one. And yeah, going back to the game stats, most of the upsides is gonna be on the side of SBE, having more Jurix and of course the 2 Barons. And here are the replays, the highlights from that game, guys.
And I think the biggest thing to highlight, Creo, para sa game na to is Serene Brew. From the moment the game started, their vision game is unmatched. Yeah, and this is the moment where Chansey had a chance to turn the game around, and they did.
But we got hype there.
At the end of the game, they were just out macroed. Because if you think about it, mas madali yung trabaho ng SBE. They got the tankiness for it. They got a lot of poke for it. So they had more leeway to play loosely with their comp. Whereas, para naman sa Pylon, they couldn't do anything else other than start a fight. What happens if they can't? They get poked out, they get forced to face check, such as what happened here, and they just didn't have the comp to back
that was
up.
just so tight of a space there for them.
Yeah, beautifully done here by SBE. Just all round punishment on the deficiencies of the comp and the calling here. Not to mention the vision difference between these two teams culminated to an SBE win at the end of the day. So congratulations SBE, they will take the first win for today's qualifier games, and we will highlight another matchup in just a bit.
Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be good for SB as they move forward to the next round. And yeah, I think the next game is gonna be the next game here.
I'm actually particularly sure, no? Tingnan pa natin. Direct.
Okay.
Direct. Tingnan lang natin anong game later. But for now, we'll be having a quick break. This is still Liga Republika. Kami pa rin ang kasos nyo, Daydom and Coriolis. We'll be right back after this.
We keep keeping on. We're the dreamers. We push through the darkness with all that we've got. We keep keeping on. But oh mama, we've made it to the other side singing. Oh mama, oh mama. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Together we will rise, step into the light. We were born to come alive. Hold your head up high. This is our time. This is our time. Reaching higher, always up. Keep climbing until we're on top. Leave the shadows below. But oh mama, we've made it to the highest heights singing. Oh mama, oh mama. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Hold your head up high. This is our time. Together we will rise, step into the light. We were born to come alive. Hold your head up high. This is our time.
Push the button, let's get active. Show me how you act when it's action. I gotta warn you, this is different than the practice. Cause battle after battle make a savage. It's what I'm made for. Big mistake, bro. But he doing all he can, can't stay close. Watch out. Let me show you how it's done. Take notes, no way I take a loss. Better pray the game broke. Drop in, walk him down, boom, boom, caught him, lock in. Watch me go to work as if I clocked in. It's been getting out of hand, somebody stop him. You wish you could, I'm too good. Yeah. I make it look easy. I make it look easy. I'm way too good. Yeah. I make it look easy. I make it look easy. I'm way too good. I'm way too turned up, heat it up, burn up, put the pressure on them and I probably might hurt some. Watch the moves on me, you might just learn some. Try it and you fail, not the only or the first one. A lot of names on that list who try to stop me, but not a single one of them was copy. I pack them up, I roll them out, I'm serving up some maki. Only way to win is if you copy, but I'm too good. Yeah. I make it look easy. I make it look easy. I'm way too good. Yeah. I make it look easy. I make it look easy. I'm way too good. I'm about to turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
And we are back, guys. As again, that was a pretty action-packed first game. Okay, congratulations for the side of SBE on winning the first game. But the next game, Tadum, is going to be exciting. What are the teams?
Yes, of course. It's going to be Amigos Esports going up against a team called Decisive, whatever that's
Decisive.
pronounced. I'm sorry. Please correct me in the comments. But let's talk about a little bit what's at stake here. What is the winner of LR going to have apart from the money, Craig?
I mean, it's going to be the bragging rights, man. Having that win really boosted up your morality.
Of course. Apart from bagging rights, of course, you have a chance of getting into the LCP wildcard playoffs here, Crayoles. A chance of getting into Worlds, into the international stage, and of course, representing the Philippines, raising the PH banner and raising the Filipino pride that we all will and love. And I can't wait to see which of our teams are going to advance to the playoffs to get a chance to advance to the LCP wildcard playoffs, especially because of the recent representation that we've had. I don't know if you guys if any of you guys are Valorant fans, but a certain someone named Patman has just won the world tournament. I think it was Masters. Yeah, Masters. A Filipino has won from another Riot title. So imagine that for League of Legends, but a whole team. Come on. But anyway, the prize pool is a whopping 860,000 pesos, with the first prize, I think half of this, 430k, a lump sum. And then, of course, a road or a qualification to the LCP wildcard playoffs, which is the first in a long time. The first in a long time. Yeah.
And I can't wait to if that ever happens. And I can't wait to see the specific comment. Oy, Philippines!
Oy, Philippines!
I can't wait to see that one coming in. Oy, Philippines! You know, as we all are very proud of our competitors in the tournaments. They're just really supportive. I like the way that the Filipinos just really support every Filipino team or international tournaments. And one day we may see that again.
Hopefully. But guys, no, you can join in on the conversation dito sa aming caster desk. You can type in the comments sinong gusto nyo ipa-shoutout, which team you're supporting. Kung gusto nyo ipa-shoutout yung mga tropa nyo dyan, mga bebe nyo, make sure to do so. Creo and I will try our best to shout out you guys. Ikaw, kung gusto nyo i-shoutout si Creoles dito, or kung may gusto kong itanong sa kanya, you can ask me. Tanong nyo, single ba si Creoles? Tanong nyo na lang sa akin. I'll answer those questions dito. No, but I'm excited for our next matchup, guys. It's gonna be Amigos Esports versus Desufni. Now, this is interesting to me, Creoles, because I'm not particularly sure who the names are, who the players are between these two teams, which I guess is what makes the play-in stage kind of exciting rather. Sino ba ang maglalamang dito? Who is gonna be playing and who is going to take the cake? And I think this is the best part of LR. We get to highlight new talents.
Yeah, and I like it when the teams are not out of my knowledge, because it makes things more exciting.
Of course.
Because we thought those gonna be ahead on the lineup, was ahead on the player experience. So it's gonna be a huge opportunity for them to showcase what they have, and we'll see it in a few minutes from now. So right now, guys, we are here at the draft phase. AES going against DFN, Desfuni, and Amigos Esports.
Yes. Here we go. Bans popping up. And the Varus takes priority. Mukhang nanood sa last game, Creoles dito, ang DFN. They don't want to play against that Varus. And AES standard bans. Poppy taken away, signaling to me they want to play something flashy here. Maybe a playmaker in the mid lane. Talia taken away as well. It signals to me that
they
Ari
watched game 1.
Yeah, maybe an Ari is up for grabs para sa Amigos Esports dito. No, they want to take away the Poppy, take away the counterplay, take away the Talia. So yeah, Ari might fit the bill, or maybe they could go for a top laner, maybe even some scaling.
TF
Let's see.
will be banned out for the side of Desfuni. So having again the global presence of the ult of TF could be the easiest way to get map awareness for the team. But I like the Varus ban, because again, as we mentioned earlier, Varus is the most complex champion. Any kind of playstyle can be done with Varus, and having him out could open up more opportunities for more showcasing of ADCs.
Yeah. Ezreal could be picked up at this conjuncture, provided na merong scaling option for the team. Victor up for grabs as well, no? Hasn't received a lot of priority. Aatrox available too. With Camille being banned away, I think Aatrox could be the priority pick of AES. Renekton up too. So pwede rin yun. There is a lot of options available. A lot of meta picks left unchecked by both of these squads. A Rumble ban is a little bit interesting for DFN dito. No? Maybe they know something that we don't. Something from Amigo Esports. Maybe it's a comfort pick ng isa sa mga players dito ng Amigo. But because Amigo is on the blue side, they get priority pick. So ano kaya ang unahin nila dito, Creo?
Could be prioritizing they could prioritize a Kai'Sa right off the bat, and they will. Kai'Sa has been locking for the side of Amigo Esports, as Kai'Sa, one of the strongest hyper carries in the game that they could utilize on their team fight, on the way that it scales. Again, the damage coming from Kai'Sa is going to be phenomenal in late game. So let's see what else they can do for this lineup.
Yeah, there you go. Kai'Sa being the first pick of this matchup. Not what I would expect. That Wukong will be taken as well. And I think this makes sense. As the Poppy being banned out, Wukong takes free reign. And that's a lot of versatility with the Wukong without having to give away much of your game plan in terms of anong comp yung gusto nyo gawin. No? With the Wukong, kahit anong draft pwede. Pwedeng pang team fight, pwedeng pang pick off, pwedeng pang poke. And I love it. The Wukong typically is fought off with a Poppy. So a really good first couple of pickups dito. Ari taken up as well because of the Poppy ban. And I'm really liking this drafting from DFN so far.
Yeah, so far good drafting from DFN. Having the versatility of a Wukong could be flash type or execution kind of style for Wukong. For me, having the first pick on Kai'Sa kinda risky for the side of Amigos Esports because they already know what the ADC is going to be using, so they can counter pick it pretty well. But we'll see how things goes as the Vi basically locked in here for the side of Amigo Esports. Again, with the pick-off kind of comp, could work well. We did see some flashes of a Vi last game, locking in that Varus, but things really just wouldn't sit on their side. But Aurora being picked up here for the side of Amigos Esports. And by the way, just a little side note, Aurora will be coming out for Wild the Rift on the next patch, and it's going to be a new opportunity for other players to experience Aurora in the game.
Yeah. And I was expecting a playmaker, but I wasn't expecting Aurora. I was expecting it along the lines of an Ari that I thought ika-counter na lang dito ng AES. They will be making their own place with the mid lane pick of the Aurora. Ezreal is the response from DFN, which in my opinion is not too bad of a pick. It's okay. They do have enough damage anyway. And Ezreal staying safe and providing poke, of course, always a good thing. And that early game, the level 6 power spike should be able to outshine the Kai'Sa, provided a solid enough support here. So Nautilus banned out. It seems like DFN not wanting to play against engaged supports. So Nautilus banned away, Aatrox taken away as well. With Camille banned out, makes you wonder ano yung pinaprioritize dito ng AES. They have a lot of priority for that top lane. 2 top lane bans already.
I think they know someone's a monster in top lane. They got 3 top lanes banned already for the side of Amigos Esports, so they know something that we don't. As Leona will be banned out for the side of DFN. So yeah, more on tanks and of course the Varus ban. So I like the drafting actually for both teams. It's pretty balanced, and for the current picks, Ezreal, Ahri, Wukong, they do have the poke potential, AoE damage coming from Ezreal's ult, and of course the Wukong. But we'll see this remaining 2 picks for teams.
Alright. The minions getting a highlight. Yeah.
They deserve it, man. They've been here since the start, you know.
Hey, where's the blue minions? Bakit red lang yung meron? No blue minions? Okay.
Maybe they're gonna make a huge entrance later on. As Alistar will be being the support for the bot side of DFN, together with the Ezreal. I like the bot side so far.
Yeah, I do too.
For the side of DFN.
Gives them a lot of options.
Options, yes.
And I love the level 2 all-in potential as well of the Ezreal Alistar comp. Sorry to cut you off there. I just want to bring this up now. A lot of early game potential for the bot lane of DFN, which so far wala yung AES. They just only have a Kai'Sa, so they kind of need sort of answer back to this Alistar in the early game, or maybe just go for an Enchanter bot lane, go for the poke instead. Karma still not available. They banned it out, so they're gonna go for a Taric instead. More defensive route for the bot lane. They really are playing for the scaling of the Kai'Sa.
Okay, I like the Taric pick. It really complements the team comp for the side of Amigo Esports.
True.
They're gonna try their best to hyper carry this Kai'Sa, having the protection of a Taric and the AoE stun that they can do. The ultimate from Taric could really save the Kai'Sa at crucial times whenever the Wukong tries to dive on the Kai'Sa. I like it. Whoa! Here we go. Renekton, by the way, has been picked 7 times, 58.3% throughout day 1.
Yeah, receiving a lot of the priority for yesterday's games, and it kind of makes sense, right? Renekton is one of those champions na pwede mong laruin up against literally any opponent, barring maybe something like a Vayne or a top lane Quinn, but nobody does that dito sa ating Liga Republika, no? So there you go. We're gonna be seeing our first Renekton of the day going up against a Jax, and that's a skill matchup and a half. Anyone can win that fight, provided you play it well. And we have the drafts at hand. It's Amigo Esports on the blue side, Desfuni on the red side. A lots of a very different look between these two comps, no? But I think very well rounded. And the one thing that stands out to me for this matchup in particular, Coriolis, is the strong points of both of these teams are pretty similar. They both got a lot of CC. They both got solid junglers, good for engages, and both of them has got fairly well scaling options. Of course, AES has a little bit better scaling, but I like that we're getting both teamfight comps dito, is what I'm trying to say. No, we could be in it for a long game.
Yeah, and just to add a side joke, I was watching the cast yesterday, and people from the comment section was like, "Why is Renekton so small on the visuals?" Sabi na, buti kayo ba yung Renekton? I mean, I do see the size diff of Renekton on this one, but yeah, that was a side joke from yesterday. Well, yeah, going back to the team count for DFN, they can they can do either both pick off or clash type, because having a lockdown champion for a single target like a Wukong, the Alistar's knock up, Ari Charm could be easily picked off one of the opposing team, but that Taric, I think, could make the huge difference for the side of Amigo Esports. And we don't really see much Tarics nowadays. And whenever we see one, it's a good one. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the blue minis are there at the side. Still chilling at the side there. Yeah, it's going to be a good fight. Again, guys, right now, this upcoming game, this is Amigos Esports going against Desfuni.
Yeah,
Desfuni, sorry.
Guys, show your support for our teams. Show your support for our players. I-comment nyo lang dyan ang inyong comments. Pakita nyo ang inyong support sa mga players natin. Sorry, naubusan ako ng Tagalog doon. And kung may gusto kayo pa shoutout, make sure to put it down there. Creo and I will try our best to shout you guys out. Oo nga, no? Matangkad pa yung Ari.
And Ezra's taller than Renekton there, bro.
But look at this shot though. Oh my god.
Oh, such glorious man right there.
Aura. Reminds me of that one,
Aura.
It reminds me of that one cinematic na they modeled pro players' faces sa mga sa katawan ng mga champion. Remember Uzi? They put Uzi's face on Vayne's body.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. And then si Faker naka-Rise na cosplay. That was sick.
Yeah, I like the edits, man. The community just releasing their creativity when it comes to this community post. But man, look at glorious Fabio right there. The Taric being ready again, guys. We do have our comment section up here on our sites. If you want anything for us to say, to shout out, please do so as we prepare for this upcoming match. And this is going to be, I think, a really good fight based on team comps. It's going to be hard to predict.
Well, let me ask you that.
Based on skill.
On that note, Creole, since you mentioned prediction, based on the drafts, right? We got a Kai'Sa, Vi, Aurora, Jax, Taric on the one end. And then you got an Ezreal, Alistar, Renekton, Ahri, and Wukong on the other. Which of these two comps would you rather have? I mean, if it was based solely on draft, which would you pick as the one that has the advantage?
Based on draft and based on paper, I believe the one with the Taric comp is gonna be ahead because they have all the tools to protect Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
The stun of Taric, the stun of Jax, just bodyguards right now for that Kai'Sa. For the side of Amigo Esports, they need to make a way to get to the back line because that's all they need to do, get the Kai'Sa down. Hyper carry Kai'Sa, simple method, just get her down early on, try to delay the gold. But let's see if they could actually execute that well on this upcoming game.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you, right? In the traditional sense, AES have a more team fight approach, a more standard approach to this composition. They got the Kai'Sa protected at all costs, and then they got the Jax, a solid side laner, sort of go for the split push.
Yeah, they got fronts. They got big fronts.
Exactly. In the Taric form as well, got a little bit of a CC there. And a lot of survivability. That's the one thing I'd like to highlight. Survivability for the Kai'Sa is all-time high here with the Taric. Of course, you got the killer instinct on top of the Taric ult. And then, of course, you've always got the Taric stun to worry about when they're together. So,
And the heal too. Yeah.
Medyo mahirap i-shutdown dito yung Kai'Sa. And it is a traditional comp, but I like traditional comps. The only thing they have to do is play for late game and protect one player. And it sounds simple on paper, which is why I like it.
Yeah, I mean, simplicity is not always the bad thing. It's sometimes actually the best thing for them, as they're doing the usual positioning here at the opening minutes of our game. But I have to ask you, like, if you were AES, if you're Amigos Esports, what is going to be the best way to utilize your team comp?
All right, don't fight until level 6. Don't fight. They need their ults to fight here, and they need to scale. Particularly the extremities of the map here, the Jax and the Kai'Sa. As we know, two of the best scalers in their respective roles. And up against their opponents, I mean, you take a look at the extremity laners here. You got Doa on the Renekton. Really good all-in, level 1, level 2. The same could be said for the Ezreal Alistar combo, right? So, pag humanap ng laban yung Kai'Sa at saka yung Jax early game, they have a little bit of a disadvantage, especially in that level 2 mark. No, so level 3 mark even. So just don't fight. Wait for level 6. Wait for your first item power spikes. And then look for team fights. Just let Demon play around mid. Rotate with your Aurora. And deny any big team fights. DFN naman, complete opposite. Look for as many skirmishes as possible.
They should. Because, again, having that team really focuses on pick-offs. And you only have one goal, actually, get Kai'Sa down. So they have the tools, they have the team, they have all the CCs that they could use against that Kai'Sa. Question is, can they go to the backline? Can they go to the Kai'Sa? Yeah.
Exactly. Now, the one thing I worry off here for DFN though is, yes, they have a good comp tailored for a lot of things. They could go for pickoffs too, like you mentioned. Pero ang hirap imagine how they're gonna shut down Whamsy on the Kai'Sa when Koi Lexa, the Ahri, is not present in the team fights. Kunyari, take down si Ahri. What tools do they have to jump the Kai'Sa? I mean, sure, they're gonna have a Wukong, but I think they're gonna use the Wukong mostly for engaging fights with the Cyclone. So what do you do then? Okay, papasok yung Wukong and then magkikiller instinct yung Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
What then? They don't have a dedicated assassin in their composition. Don't have a lot of lockdown as well. Contrary to AES na merong Vi na pang lockdown. No?
Yeah.
So, couple that with the fact that they have a Taric to protect that Kai'Sa at all times. And it gets worrying for DFN on paper how they're gonna shut down the Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the one thing I'm worried of here. But that's not to say that they can't do much about the team fights. They could just fight someone else.
Yeah, and just to glaze more on this Taric pick because I mean, okay.
Go on.
It's
okay.
It's gonna be so protective on this Kai'Sa because he has the heal, he has the stun, he has the ultimate. So whenever they sense that the enemy team is gonna engage in the backline, Taric's gonna be on the side of that Kai'Sa all of the time. So it's gonna be hard for the side of DFN to engage in backline, but they have to engage in the backline. So we'll see how they execute this one.
Early contests on the Scuttler. Demon will be taking the bot side Scuttler.
So both
At
teams will
Sila.
have their respective scuttlers.
Let me ask you this, Kreya. Since nabasa ko yung IGN dito ni Wukong, do you know how to pronounce that singer's name?
Laufey.
Nah, bro.
How is it?
She's Icelandic. Apparently it goes something like Leve? Something.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's pronounced like Leve.
Leve.
Something close to, I know I'm doing it wrong, but something close to that. It spells like Laufey. It's spelled like Laufey, but apparently it's read like Leve because it's in
Leve.
Icelandic.
Ah, so
The more you
your
know.
F is V. Okay, so yeah,
The more you know.
the more you know every day, but there's something new. Love.
Love. Left. You say lovely.
Simply lovely.
Simply lovely.
Okay, we're engaged here in the top side. The top side having a little bruising here and there. But yeah, going back, sometimes the Europeans have their own of saying words, man. They're quite creative. But in the top side, I do think something is gonna pop up as the Vi will try to get the trending turned down. It's getting so already the counter strike. It is gonna be the first blood here for the side of AES.
Yes, sir. Good engage from Demon there. Jumps away from Leve Fanboy. And will be able to survive that 2v2 encounter. The first blood going over towards the AES jungler. And this is gonna snowball them, right? Remember when I said they can't look for fights in the early game? Now they can. Dahil may advantage na si Demon.
I think the best way that they can have a little bit of comfort for the side of Amigos Esports once Kaisa gets at least one kill. That's the start of a bad romance for the side of DFN. Because again, Power Spike is going to be a must. Late game's going to be a must for Amigos Esports. And having that first blood already, things are getting interesting here.
Absolutely. And Demon will be enabled to, rather encouraged to look for more fights. No, has a bit of a long sword advantage, around 10 AD, which should be enough to give them a bit of an incentive to look for fights, especially with the Drake spawning up. The first Drake is up. It is a Chemtech, so not a lot of priority yet for both sides. Void Grub's not available yet. And both junglers converging on the bottom side.
Good stun coming from the Taric, getting that damage into this Alistar. But yeah, that's the thing. Having a Taric, well, we do see Demon trying to rotate here at the bottom side. Good warding, able to negate that gank. But Dragon is up for the take here for the side of Amigos Esports.
Exactly. Good jump, good control dito sa Dragon Pit natin. 3 people already here. And a lot of prio given by Wamzi and Sightstone.
Yeah, I don't think they'll contest at all here. So it's going to be a free Drake for the side of Amigos Esports as the bot side recalling just to... Yeah, I think they're going to be more engaging on the grubs. As you mentioned, not really a prio dragon on this Chemtech.
So pa pala na worry ko dito sa comp ng DFN, no? What scaling options do they have? I mean, typically kasi when you pick an Ezreal, it's after you pick a scaling mid laner. Something like a Victor. Or maybe even something more far-fetched like a Ryze. But they don't have that in this case. They have an Ahri, more for pick potential. So this comp peaks at the mid game. And then when it comes to the late game, they just get outshined completely by the composition of Amigos. And what's worrying even more, Creo, is currently, sino ba yung ahead? The scaling comp, AES. So as long as they play safe, DFN are eventually gonna fall off. No? So mid-game is really essentially the timer. Parang kumbaga, if you think about it, DFN has a timer to end the game. Siguro around 25-30 minutes. Pag lumagpas ng 30 minutes yung game, I don't think they have a chance of coming back.
But for me, the only best opportunity in late game for DFN is how accurate the charms are going to be for this Ahri. Because one charm, if they charge the Kaisa and maybe they see the Taric slacking off, that could be the opportunity for them. But the Grubs is going to be taken here as the T is trying to. We got the Cyclone already here coming from the Wukong. So there's one more Grub, but the Taric will be going down as the free hits coming from the Kaisa on the back lane. Ahri is going to be going down as well as Jax at the back of the pit was able to get the Grubs, and it's going to be going down as it's going to be 2 kills, 3 kills for DFN, and just triple kill easy for this Wukong. It ties up here 3-4 right now on the current score. So
Yeah,
I
3
like
for
the
2
engage. Yeah, 2 for 3. I like the engage that they did there. They knew that they had the opportunity since the Jax was on the upper part of the pit. So he can really jump in because he was busy with someone there. So good play coming from DFN. They need to do this more on their team comp.
Exactly. Level 6 still in favor of DFN, and as we say, early to mid game sa DFN talaga yung advantage sa comp nila, no? Even with the early advantage that DM1 was able to pick up, DFN still able to win the fight. 3-4, I think that was a 4-4-3. 4-4-3.
Yeah,
triple kill
for,
para kay
Wukong.
Leve fanboy and the Void Grab is all going into the hands of DFN dito. So, okay. Swinging back the favor into the hands of Defu's knee. As Adoa getting chipped down to around 500 HP.
So if because I do see a little bit of passive play that they're trying to do here for the side of Amigo Esports, which they need to do to scale up this Kai'Sa and really complement their team comp. So if DFN doesn't do anything about that, that's gonna be this bush, wrong bush. As we have 3 people here from the side of DFN, the Vi does survive that. And that was a spicy one if that ever has a kill on that one.
Yeah, good flash from Demon. Keeps him alive from that
Burn
encounter.
the flash.
Vault Breaker to run away as well. So, denying the kill for DFN is a huge thing at this conjuncture. And the thing is, AES, still, as you said, have to play safe for now. They could engage in fights. I mean, malakas pa rin naman at this point si Demon. But if you take a look at the opponent, the Wukong has just completed the Triforce. Barring none, is the strongest strongest champion in the entire map right now.
Well, we do see Triforce as well for Vi.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just
So
like
they're quite on pace with each other. So that's good. Having a Triforce for both your jungles, getting that damage that you need in team fights is going to be crucial. But
Right.
yeah, on this bot side, trying still to venture down on Lauvi fanboy.
Sabihin na lang nating Lauvi para madali sabihin.
No, we have to say it
Madali
right.
pronounce.
We have to say it right.
Lauvi fanboy. I apologize to the singer. Nanonood din Shoutout kay Lauvi. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. But yeah, a bit of a gentleman's agreement muna. Babagal muna yung pace ng game natin dito. As neither team looking for anything realistically. The Drake spawning in just a few seconds. So, DFN have to try and make the most out of the early advantage that they have. Now, when you take a look at
they are
the
setting up.
ults na meron dito ng DFN, they have everything except for the Dominus dito. But the TP available for Xiao and not for Adoa means na pwede mag-turn ang AES dito sa Dragon.
The dragon
So-
spawned.
Exactly.
This is the Infernal Drake, so one really important Drake to take. As we do see the side already of AES. Getting ready for this dragon fight. Oh, and the top side though. Good charm, but just trying to really rotate here to the dragon, both teams.
TP.
Drax from behind will do a flank play here for the side of AES. The Jax with the counter strike and good ultimate here coming from the Aurora. And that's nice stock up. And the Cyclone is for the Wukong trying to delete this back lane. The Alistair will be going down and trying this mess to get to the back lane. Damage has been done, and that's going to be a 2-for non-trade for AES.
Beautiful flank from Xiao. I was talking about the TP play being available and they make the most out of it. Goes for the Vault Breaker into the double counter-strike stun. And there wasn't much that EFN can do in that encounter. Makakapag-push si Adoa but not enough time to get more than one third plating. Kasi andito na rin si Xiao Badjao. What a name and what a
Xiao
play from the
Badjao.
Jax.
Yeah, actually, I love the names. I've been looking at the IGN since yesterday. And all I can say, man, they are smart when it comes to IGNs.
I mean, it's always been like this na. I mean, pag naglalaro ka ng League of Legends at 3 a.m. and the gnarliest IGNs come out, you know people can get creative.
Oh, having a bit of a duel here on the top side. Adoa and Xiao Bajao flashes in. Trying to chase him down. It's going to be another casualty kill for Xiao Bajao.
And this is not looking good for DFN. The Jax is scaling, the Drakes are stacking, and everyone starting to scale better.
Laovi fanboy trying to sneak in here. We do see the low Jax it is. Easy kill here for Laovi fanboy.
A bit too greedy for the...
yeah, a bit of overstay, honestly.
Yeah, minions for Xiao Bajao will be taken down, paving the way for Laovi fanboy to go on a rampage now. 4 kills for the Wukong. But in the grand scheme of things, Creo, ahead pa rin talaga dito ang Amigos Esports. No? So, yeah, AES, provided they play safe, should have the late game in the bag. The Jax looking good, despite getting punished, is so far ahead of this Renekton.
Yeah, and if we check out the KDAs for the side of DF and Wukong with 401 KDA, is the only one actually having a good gold spike. Compared to AES, we got 3 kills for Vi, 1 kill for Jax, also 1 kill for Kaisa, which again is going to be the hyper carry of their team. So they really need to up their game and just do the pickups that their team can actually do. But here in this bush,
Sidestone.
It's going to be okay. Gage Tarek gets a stun off. And that was close.
Yeah, that was close. But
That was
Sidestone
close.
getting
I
out of
saw it.
dodge, learning from the lessons of their enemies earlier on. Rift Herald already spawning up here. Could be a point of contention dito, Coriolis. Shove coming through on the top lane. And mukhang mauuna pumasok ang AES towards that Rift Herald pick.
Yeah, tower will going down here from the top side and going to DFN. As again, RH up and ready to take.
Okay,
So-
let's see who's the first team
Okay,
who will put priority.
Arido is in the bot side. So if they know this opportunity for the side of AES, they can start the RH. And they are. Actually, they are. I was just talking about it. And that's going to be potentially 4v5 if they contest. Smart move here coming from Amigos Esports to take this RH already early on.
Another big objective secured. Ni Demon dito getting the Rift Herald as well. As a lot of priority on the top half of the map. Gives them a lot of leeway. When it comes to objective fights, DFN still a little bit ahead, but the Dragons favoring AES at this point. Could really be a headache later on. DFN at some point have to look for fights. Almost all the key players ng DFN nakakuha na ng first item, including the Ezreal. So perhaps now is the time to stretch the lead, to deny that late game para sa DFN.
Again, they need to re-step it up because time is kind of running out for them for the side of DFN if they really don't get those early pickoffs in this early to mid game. Because yeah, they are kind of ahead right now on the situation of the game, but the question is how can they utilize what they have to negate the late game of this Kaisa.
And I think DFN naghanap lang sila ng big objective para sa next team fight. Not necessarily wanting to force any big risky plays. All things considered, Creo, equal pa rin naman yung gold natin. So,
Yeah, 29k
not
gold.
a definitive lead unless you take into account where the Wukong is.
Oh, okay. We're gonna pick up here on the bottom side of the map. Ari will be going down. Renekton will be going safely.
Yeah,
So-
AES, nauunahan nila Nauunahan nila yung DFN sa pagiging proactive dito. Another good kill. Hindi man lang nakapag-ulti doon yung Ari, will be able to get taken down by AES.
Yeah,
the trade.
actually, it
Not
feels
there.
like what DFN needs to do, AES is doing it for
Yun
them.
nga eh.
Because
It's
they're the
weird.
one who needs to pick off. But the more that they do these kinds of things, the more that AES is gonna scale up and just feed off on their late game champions like Kaisa, Jax, and the more healing that Tarek can offer in the late game for protection as the Drake has spawned.
Okay.
So
Una
you
dito
see
ang
here
DFN.
DFN already rushing this dragon, but it will be contested at the upper side of the map. You do see the Vi. Things are getting a little bit dragon already half health. Will they engage? The Vite charging up already. Jax has been charmed. They go to the front line. And Renekton. Oh, the beautiful ulti from the Taric. Would that be enough though? And the damage at the middle. Renekton trying to venture down to the front side as Ari and is already going down. It's going to be fitting here.
Oh!
Oh no! Oh no! That damage and the way the execution. That's what they wanted to see here for DFN as a nudge. Try its best to survive. Will that be enough? Inside the way of the stuff the meat going down. Oh no.
Beautiful setup there for DFN. The 4-man knockup from the Saint immediately turning the tides in favor of DFN. And you could visually see naubos yung health bars ng Amigos Esports because they don't have the numbers. They should play for the scaling, and you could see just how much tankier Adoa is, how much tankier Luffy Fanboy is, because at this point it's the mid game. This is where their champions are at their strongest. And AES, yes, they've been getting a couple of good pickoffs here and there, but at the end of the day, they need a little bit more time to scale and get into those team fights. So, I think at that point, tinry lang ng AES na to try and see if they could take DFN in a team fight. The answer is no. DFN won that fight without a doubt. Pero ito na naman sila.
Okay, take two here on this Dragon Dance. Both teams again trying their best to secure this dragon for the team as Atakan will be spawning at the upper side. And yeah, I think they are still gonna contest. We do still have cooldowns on their ultimates. They're pushing really hard here for the side of DFN. It's going to be engaged again as we do see the Vi already in trouble, trapped inside. It's going to be Vi going down. And a stun. Okay, we can see the Jax getting the Ari down, but he goes down as well. The Ezreal, but in the middle, we have the Aurora with ultimate getting the wall down, just dancing around, ready to maybe going down as well. And there's only two people left here for the side of DFN. Womber goes down, double kill here for the Kaisa.
John with the outplay, a beautiful Aurora ult into the flash, keeps him alive and gives AES the fight. Good stun, but Tanix goes on a rampage. But either way, it's a 4-for-3. And AES, they will be coming out on top because of that turnaround play. Napakaganda ng ginawa ni Legion doon. And the Aurora play working wonders for AES. They steal away the dragon and they walk away with the team fight because of a beautiful two-man play from Demon and Legion.
That was beautiful indeed. And the way that they executed that clash, good spacing, they knew the Kaisa was being protected well at the backside. And yeah, everything just goes well there for the side of AES.
Hindi mo makarecover. What a play from John.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
ulti into the invis, into the flash, played around with DFN like food, and that's gotta be tilting, no? As a DFN, they were already winning the team fight. They lost the Drake, but then actually medyo weird yung decision making doon ng AES, no? In my opinion, they should have just backed off the moment they took the Drake, but then they went into the fight. You can see DFN was winning the fight until John ulted. Na turn around yung fight and naging 4-3 pa after taking the Drake, making the fight worth it. And AES, they stay ahead because of that play.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that was a good clash coming from Wamsy, the Kaisa, having good items already. He has the Rage Blade already. And yeah, this is going to be smelling a little bit of trouble here. Kaisa late game, scary. But they still have potential for the side of DFN to delay the game. But they have to act fast.
Stun?
We get the stun. Just casually trying to shove away from this Atakan. Okay, we do see AES already trying to secure. Both teams are... they can't go near. DFN can't go near as they try to engage. And good knock-up here. The other becoming the Taric is going to be secured though from Luhuko and Aurora. Again, so we're trying to dance around the dome. But it's not going to be enough. The damage too much. Ezreal gets double kill.
Yeah, and Luffy Fanboy this time steals the objective away in the same way Demon did with the Drake. No more playmaking with Lejon as he gets crushed by the Alistar. And there is just no way AES could recover from that team fight. I think they should have just given the Atakan away. Not the biggest of objectives in my opinion. But because they decided to risk it, medyo na-punish ang Amigos Esports doon. No? DFN still proving that they are ahead in terms of the scaling at this conjuncture. And no playmaking this time for John. Na-deny siya eh. A lot of the CC came down crashing on that Aurora. And Amigos could not recover for that team fight. And that's a big mistake for AES. No, I think they should have just let the Atakan be taken away. But because they fought it, look at this. Hindi man lang nakagalaw si Demon.
Just stuck there at the middle. And the follow-up from the team, Aurora tried its best to do some damage, but Ezreal, good spacing again. That's what I noticed here from Thanix. He always has good spacing so far in the game.
Exactly.
That's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah. And Demon couldn't smite either because he CC'd for 4 business days. So it's a good steal from Luffy Fanboy. And EFN keep a tiny lead at this point. But it doesn't feel like a tiny lead, no? Parang ang laki ng lead nila dito because of how tanky their players are. And you can see them absolutely melting whoever's up front whenever there's a team fight. And walang ulti dito si Sidestone. So DFN definitely still in control of this game. And a big part of it is because they were able to shut down Xiao Bajao on the bot side.
Yeah.
Kung hindi nila na-shut down si Jax doon, that fight could have been very different for Amigos.
That's true. And right now the Baron is up. And right now we do see a potential gank on this bottom side. I think he doesn't know about it as Xiao Bajao will try to escape this 3v1 situation. Got the counter-strike out. Aries spacing. And it's going to be... Okay, flashes out. But I don't think that's going to be enough. The Cyclone here for the Wukong. And Jax will be going down.
Yeah, another big
Oh,
punish coming through. But this time it's a good trade. Yeah, Baron.
Take it easy for the side of AES. Smart. Smart place.
Exactly. AES making moves on the map. This time, not letting Xiao go down in vain, but instead taking their objectives. Dragon will be traded out by DFN, but grand scheme of things, Creo, that's definitely an Amigos Esports win with the Baron.
Yeah, I do believe that is worth it on what they risked there. Jax for a Baron, I could take that any day. Especially having the momentum of your minions being powered, the pushing potential that you can do. Again, if they are scaling team comp, so they do need this to elongate this game and get more items for their hyper carries. So it's really smart. I like what they did.
Exactly. Very creative. Yung paggamit nila sa split push comp dito, no? Knowing that they can't really go for team fights. They don't have as much tankiness as they hope. Mag-split na lang ng mapa dito. AES play around the objectives, play around the split push of the Jax, and get the Baron in the process. Speaking of process, the long process is already paying its fruits. Wamzi already securing the 3rd item in the bag. That's a Terminus done and dusted. So it's gonna be an easier job of chipping away at these tanks, the Renekton, the Wukong, and the Alistar. So DFN timer is slowly counting down next to nothing. So kailangan na nilang maghanap ng big opportunities soon.
Renekton able to misses the charm, but Renekton was able to engage on the Vi. Vi goes to the Ahri. We got the Taric ult already, but they're so separated. But oh my god, the damage from the Kai'Sa melting an Alistar that quickly. We're still alive though, but in the middle, the Cyclone again, the Aurora will try to dash around the Flashy in the middle. But it's gonna be the Wukong going down, Kai'Sa damage again. And it's trying to revive. Oh! Aurora with the sniper on that Ahri, and that's gonna be a 2-4 non-trade for the side of BUT Sports.
Good positioning from Wamzi, dealing a ton of damage. Kahit nahuli siya nung Wukong, still able to survive and then go back into the fight. That's what gave them the team fight. The front to back of AES looking really good, and Wamzi staying alive is the key. kulang yung naibigay na damage ng DFN kasi wala pa si Tanex when the fight started. But Wamsi was there the entire time. And even when Laufey got the jump on the Kai'Sa, they didn't have enough backup. So it's a 2-for-0 trade. AES getting the kills, looking for more objectives.
And we mentioned this earlier, that Taric will always be near the Kai'Sa. He needs to be near the Kai'Sa. So the execution was spot on, and they needed to really just get the Kai'Sa to do his job. But what do I appreciate from the side of DFN, Ezreal did not die in that clash. I think for me, it's going to be the key of the game for DFN. As long as Ezreal avoids death, gets more items in, they could still possibly contest late game.
And one thing to watch as well, yung set dito na meron DFN. They got the Wukong, they got an Alistar. That's a ton of CC. If they could layer that dito and pinpoint the back line, that's more CC that lasts longer than the Taric ult. So maybe they could penetrate the back line instead of focusing on the front to back. Kasi ang lakas na ng front to back dito. Ang lakas na ng standard team fight ng AES that DFN are struggling to keep up with them. So they have to find ways to be creative around the team fight, Creo. Kailangan mahanap na nila si Wamsi. Because at this point, nobody can 1v1 that bot lane.
Absolutely. And yeah, basing on the pace though, right, of DFN, they could still really contest on team fights. I like the way that the Renekton engages to the middle of the clash. Will follow up with the Wukong Cyclone, possibly in the back lane, or try to target down the Kai'Sa. So they have the potential, but Kai'Sa, again, having 3 items already, can really deal some. If you saw the clash earlier, it just melts the Alistar's HP in just 2 seconds to almost 1/4 health. And that's an Alistar, okay?
Probably the tankiest member of DFN, especially with the Unbreakable Will. Xiao again becoming a Nuwisan. Sakit sa ulo si Xiao no? Kahit kanina pa siya napapunish, still higher level than the Renekton. Jax thinks at this point. And you gotta remember, that's a level 16 Jax. Max level on the ult. Basically as strong as a Jax can get. Meron pang ang stasis na available with the Seeker's arm guard. So it's a hard Jax to catch. And you've got to worry about the Kai'Sa too. DFN, the window slowly closing, Creoles.
Okay. So objectives still not within reach yet, but we do feel that DFN trying to spot a mistake or an overextend here on the side of Amigos Esports. Laufey, the bush there, trying to okay, we engage here Devi as it goes to the area Devi, but good protection from Alistar, but getting so low already. Taric with the ultimate. Aurora is so far away though. Oh my god! From the Jax, able to get the Stacy's out for protection and gets a T to respond quickly. Oh my god! Melting here and there. Kai'Sa with a double kill. It's supposed to be a triple kill as Wamsi trying its best to just hunt, but hunt is done as they trying to play smart and just push the mid lane here for AES.
Xiao with the 4-man stun and AES capitalize, man. They isolate the fight, pave the way for Wamsi, getting a triple for the Kai'Sa, and then Jax flashes out. What a play from the Jax. And Xiao making the most out of that Jax is just beautiful. It's a perfect split up comp after Demon started up the fight. DFN was out of dodge until they all got stunned by the Jax, and then AES turned the tides around. There's no way DFN could recover after Wamsi just popped off with the Kai'Sa. Now the Drake getting secured by the Amigos. Baron getting looked up as well. Hindi nila kailangang mag-back. Pwede sila mag-Baron after this Dragon take AES. They could contest the Baron, but they won't for now.
And as you see here the comments, that stun coming from the Jax with absolute cinema. I agree on that, guys. I agree on that. Because it really paved the way for the team to rest, because they saw the Aurora was still far away. Give the almost 1 to 2 second time for them to relocate and just continue with that clash. So good job there coming from Xiao Bajao. Clutch play.
And the biggest thing here for DFN, kailangan hindi sila matilt. The mental game is even bigger than the macro game at this point, because DFN, despite being 6k gold behind, I think they still have a shot at this. Just shut down Kai'Sa, shut down key players dito ng AES. But when you lose a fight like that, that's the most tilting stuff that is imaginable in this game. So DFN, it's more of a question of mental resilience rather than execution at this point, because they can definitely still go for a team fight. Just do they have the mental strength for it?
And Baron slowly being taken for the side of AES, but we do see DFN in a world contest as the backside trying to chase this. Oh, Kaisa just dodging everything that being thrown at her.
Ito na.
As the damage, the Renekton getting locked up. Misses the charm again, but the Vice stasis, but he's gonna go with the Aurora with the ultimate, trying to get the damage in for the team.
Wamsi.
As the Jax, and we get the Black Lane.
Wamsi!
Oh, Ramsey getting the free hit. Boom! Bomber goes down. It's a follow-up.
Killer instinct.
And triple kill right now. Ramsey trying to get more kills. As gonna be a potential quadra, but the base is going low. The two ADCs is at it. Ramsey, Phoenix. Yeah, it will not force the fight, but the base is in trouble.
It doesn't matter at the end of the day, because Xiao has been chipping away at the Nexus the entire time. Amigos take their win against DFN for the second game of the day.
Wow, wait, let me just put this out. I like the duel between the two ADCs there. I was feeling it, man. Like, it could go either way. They were both low. Ezra was one Q away from death, and Kaisa was also one skill shot away from Ezreal. I mean, what I appreciate on that play, they played smart. They didn't overstay. They didn't overclash. They know the opportunity of the map being pushed at the middle side, and especially earlier when they thought of chasing the Wukong. Wukong was trying to buy time, but again they ignored it, pushed the mid, and look what happened.
Yeah. And I'd like to retract the statement. Sinabi ko kanina Crayolas, basta hindi sila matilt, pwede pa sila manalo ng team fight. I was wrong. You know why? Kasi that last team fight where nag 1v1 yung dalawang ADC, 4v5 yun, man. Hindi kasama yung Jax dun sa fight na yun. And even then, AES still won the team fight. So there really was no contest by the end of the day. The truth is, there was a timer that DFN needed to get the game finished, and they didn't. And the Kaisa took over. The Jax took over. Wala nang nagawa at the end of the day. And the split push was just too big of a headache there. And I love that you pointed out at one point na yung kailangan gawin ng DFN ginagawa ng AES, because that's the truth. That's the entire story of this game. DFN needed to be proactive, and they just weren't as proactive as their opponents. So AES just won the game.
Yeah, and oh man, we just have to again over glaze on that 4-man stun. Just beautiful. That was simply lovely. And I really thought that the Jax will be going down. It was quite risky because they have the damages on the side of DFN, but smart play with Zonya, and just really brought tide for the team. As again, we do have Because Esports getting this win on this series 1-0 as the game stats on your screen. Gold lead, pretty much a big gold lead, as the scaling went pretty well. They have more Drakes for Amigos. There's Sufni, only one Drake, and they really just get the job done for their team.
Overall, a very clean game para sa Amigo Esports, no? And I think this game stats reveal just how much in control Amigo Esports was. You have to consider that they were the scaling comp. They were supposed to have a disadvantage in the early mid game, but then nakuha nila lahat ng Drake, Creo. So you can never really say that Amigos was at a disadvantage, because they kept getting the objectives. They also got the only Baron in the game. They got the Rift Herald. The only thing that they lost in the early game was the Attack Han that got stolen away.
And that was a
by
good
the
clash
enemy.
though, yeah.
But every other objective, Amigos Esports still got it, despite being the scaling comp. They're supposed to not be able to get objectives because they're supposed to have the disadvantage, but they never really happened. So there you go, Amigos in full control of the entire game.
Yeah, so even though Amigos Esports got this win, I would have to appreciate the efforts of Thanix, Ezreal, because I really appreciate the spacing. He knows what he can do, and that's the way that he just limits the enemy side with Ezreal pokes, the damage. But I have to highlight the spacing. It's all about that spacing that he does, which really brings it up to the game.
Yeah, really, really clean execution from Tanix. Unfortunately, just was not enough in the face of Whamsy and Sightstone. So, a valiant effort nonetheless mula kay
This was a
Tanix.
beautiful
But
Aurora ult
John,
there.
oh my goodness. What
This is what we talked about earlier. This was the good play coming from the side of DFN. This was the turning point that they had because they knew they were ahead and they had the damage, the early one damage. So yeah.
But at the same time, parang ano yun parang wake-up call yung fight na yun for AES na they have to minimize mistakes, and they did. Like from then on out, I can't recall a single moment where Amigo Esports made a mistake.
Wala nga
And-
Wala. Kasi again, we mentioned this earlier. They did not overstay, didn't overextend, did not overclash. They knew the opportunity and they took it as well as it is. So really good job from playing smart, playing witty for the side of Amigos Esports. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully done for Amigo Esports. They will advance in our play-in stage. So congratulations to them, no? It is, guys, a quick reminder, top 3 teams yung pipiliin natin to go into the group stage. So yung makakatapos within the top 3 today will be moving on, and we will tally the results later on kasi madami tayong teams na naglalaro. But with that being said, that concludes our second matchup of the day. When we return, we have 2 fresh teams, 10 fresh faces to fight in the Summoner's Rift. Habang iniintay yung game na yan, we'll be having a quick break. My name's Dade. I'm here with the one and only Creoles. We'll be right back.
The longer that I wait, I'll fall deeper in your game. Tell me now for my own sake, just for my own sake. The chances I'm taking, impatiently aching. You're the one I've been chasing. You are my craving. If you want honesty, I've crossed all the lines that I drew. Forget about second
We are back, and the last game of the day is gonna be setting up. So for the next match, guys, it's gonna be Kraken GX going against Basagan.
Yes, sir. And you know what? Sobra excited ko sa laban na to, Creoles, because I heard that one of these teams have been making waves in the grassroots scene. No, they've been getting their names
Out
tainted,
there.
not
Yeah.
tainted, but shown out there. And excited to see kung anong kaya nga nilang gawin against a team here in Liga Republika. Magpapatuloy ang laban natin sa paglikha ng alamat sa Liga Republika. At syempre, ang mananalo dito has the road pave papunta sa LCP Wildcard Playoffs. If you don't know what that is, well, it's the first stepping stone papunta sa Worlds. So, kung hindi nyo pa nababalitaan, guys, pwede na makapasok sa Worlds ang Pilipinas.
Uy, Philippines. And by the way, again, the prize pool for this... Sorry, bro. But the prize pool for this tournament is going to be a whopping 860,000 pesos and hashtag road to LCP Wildcards Playoffs. So, yeah, pretty excited. And again, as you mentioned earlier, one of the teams has making noise on the grassroots tournaments, and I'm excited to see them showcase their talents on this last game for the day. But I have to mention the other name is Basagan. Really, something's gonna be up with that team name. Yeah, Basagan no? Basag eh.
Hindi ko alam anong babasagin nila mamaya, pero tingnan na lang natin, no? Excited to see kung ano nga bang meron between these two teams, and hopefully see a couple of familiar faces, a couple of familiar names sa ating Summoner's Rift later on. But guys, yes, this is going to be the final matchup of the day that we will be showcasing. Pero this is not where we end the games. Nagpapatuloy pa rin ang laban at in the background. Di lang natin nasa-steam lahat, no? And we will announce the top 3 teams to move on at the end of the day. So stay tuned lang kayo, and if you haven't already, make sure to follow the League of Legends page, which is where we announce all upcoming events, all upcoming dates of Liga Republika, at syempre lahat din ng mga pa-event at pag-giveaway, for example, ng League of Legends. Just make sure to stay tuned and follow the League of Legends page if you haven't already. But let's get that out of the way because the teams are ready. Ito na, Creoles, draft phase between Kraken GX and Team Basagan. Ano bang babasagin ng mga to?
We're about to see. And first of all, Varus out of the game again for the second time for today. As we saw the damage that Varus can do. Again, smart ban having that Varus out. I like it.
Alright. Varus taken away. Jax naman ang tinanggal dito ng Team Basagan. Mukhang nanood din.
I think everyone's
ng game
watching the
kanina.
past games because the 4-man stun. Beautiful.
Ayaw makipagbasagan ng Team Basagan sa isang Jax. Gwen taken away this time around, no? So that will pave the way for something like an Aatrox to be picked up, for example, or maybe even the Renekton again. And as we highlighted kanina, no, Renekton, one of the highly prioritized champions ever since day one of Liga Republika. So it does make sense. Renekton always been one of the stronger top laners in the meta, as Nautilus will be taken away from the draft phase. With the Varus taken away, I think the options are limited to just a couple of ADCs. Ezreal taking a bit
Renata
of priority.
out for the side of KGX. I haven't seen a good play so far from Renata, and I just like the way the ultimate was constructed, like the taunt and everyone going at each other. So unfortunately, we will not see that on this current game. But I like the potential for Renata Glass.
Yeah, Pantheon available as well with this Aurora ban. That could be the
nice.
priority pick here. Pantheon is up for that jungling role. Sinjo available too, but I would imagine something like a jungler to take priority. Uy, Lucian. Something we haven't addressed yet. Really strong in the current meta. Real good early game, especially when paired with a lot of the engaged supports or even a Nami, of course. So, yeah, good first pickup. Kraken GX. Napalagpas ng I think na slip up ng BSG, no? Hindi nila naban yung Lucian.
And just to add to some stats for the Lucian so far, 100% win rate. So, all the teams that pick up Lucian so far has been winning games. So we'll see if that continues on the trend on getting the Lucian for the side of KGX. Meanwhile, for Basagan, they have the Nami and the Kai'Sa bot lane. So they've seen the way of dominance from the Kai'Sa from the last game. trying to mimic or even make things better for their team on this current game. So we'll see if that paves way on against undefeated Lucian pick so far on Liga Republika.
Alright, there you go. And engaged support finally showing up here in conjunction with that Lucian. I did say it works really well with engaged supports and that Nami, of course. So bot lane secured for both sides. Quite surprised, no? Na prioritize pa rin yung bot side dito ng BSG. Having already secured the Nami, Victor to be locked up. So there's that scaling. So they need a little bit of CC and brute force, perhaps in the form of a brawler on the top side. But so far, so good. Renekton could fit the bill really well composition-wise para dito sa KGX, no?
Yone
as a bit of a preemptive pick. I think this is a bit risky, considering na wala pa namang top laner dito ang KGX. I mean, Yone would be ideal if there was an Aatrox on the other side. But because the Yone is picked early, it could get counter-picked here by KGX.
Absolutely. Yone does offer the CC on his ultimate, but early on being picked out could be a hit or miss for this pick, but we'll see if they can utilize it well. For the Yone though, it has been picked once so far in the tournament, also with 100% win rate. So we'll see if this is going to be continuing also the trend on that win streak.
Yone, really good. I think this Yone just gonna go against the Victor, and the top lane still a bit of a question para sa BSG. So that's I think a good idea anyway. Just try and all in on that Victor, deny the late game scaling, and just go ham on the Wind Brother, the older Wind Brother, my less favorite Wind Brother.
And
as a Yone.
Just to add to that, I've faced, because I use Victor as a mid laner. And one of the weakest counters, the strongest counters rather, engagers. So if you're Victor, you really hate engagers, which Yone is one of the
strongest in the mid lane too. Right? Ang haba din kasi ng range ng Yone, no? You got that Q3 on top of the OT. Samahan mo pa ng spell ng Soul Unbound, no? So super haba ng engage potential range ng isang Yone dito.
Yeah, sorry.
The draft continues here.
Yeah, we're back. Sorry, MB.
Top laner still a big question mark for both sides. As I said, that Yone din naman pwede i-flex eh. If ever KGX picks an Aatrox, they could pivot that Yone to the top side. But if they pick something cheekier like a counter, they could just leave it in mid and go up against the Victor, which, as my co-caster said, is a good counter pick to the Victor anyway. Diana getting secured here, a lot of engage potential. But the one thing that worries me, Creoles, no, wala pang tank dito ang BSG. Lahat sila medyo squishy.
They're more of a engager type, having title weight from Nami, Killer Instincts, Ultimate of Yone, Diana. They have the AoE, they have the damage, but do they need a front for their lineup? Yeah. Meanwhile, for KGX, they picked out the Wukong and put a Sion for the top lane for KGX. So they offered a good tank, a good front, a good backline damage coming from the Lucian. They have the AoE from the Victor, also the AoE stun and chain CC from Leona. So I like the team comp coming from KGX.
Me too, absolutely. Well-rounded composition dito ng KGX. They got all their bases covered. A lot of scaling options too with the Victor. And the answer is gonna be that Mord. So it is a Yone mid lane at the end of the day. Mordekaiser going up against a Sion on the top end of the map, and we have both compositions locked and loaded. Let me ask you this, Creoles.
Okay, go.
Which of these two comps would you rather have if you were playing in Liga Republika?
I like the picks of KGX. Again, as you mentioned earlier, it's very well-rounded. They can go any kind of playstyle they want to do. For the side of BSG, I like the Morde Sion matchup because Morde can do some abuse on the Sion, because one of the weakest picks against Morde are the duelists. With Sion, it's not a duelist, so Morde could have an easy way on the top side, but looking at more of the opportunities for BSG, they want to go Clash as much as possible, having that Diana setting things up Yone with the ultimate and having the Nami to set up team fights. This could go pretty, actually, either way for both teams. But on paper, I like the lineup for KGX.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Lot of team fighting potential, really good power spikes in the early game in the form of the Lucian and the Leona combo. Definitely pwede nga sila mag-all-in dito no? Couple that with a red start ng Wukong. Pwede sila mag-early gank, try and shut down the Kaisa Nami combo early on. And there's a lot of setup potential for KGX. And now BSG, they're gonna be relying heavily on their playmaking to be able to make this comp work. Sure, it's got a lot of individual champions to play with, but it's really hard to imagine how to tether these champions together. You got a Morde, you got a Yone, you got a Diana. Yes, there's a lot of AoE, a lot of 1v1 potential available, but it's hard to execute. It's hard to imagine how to execute this comp. So I have to wait and see how they do that. Maybe they're gonna play the pick-off angle instead on the Diana. They do have a lot of roaming potential anyway, and a lot of damage. What they don't have is a lot of protection for that Kaisa. So, medyo vulnerable yung Kaisa.
Yes, I do agree on that. Comparing it to the bodyguard kind of comp from the last game, this one, they have to execute it well. But they have the Diana though. So they have the on-front damage. Kaisa just needs to just focus on getting the kills. But what I'm excited about is going back to the side of KGX, because I can really imagine their team fights having the ultimate of Leona followed up with the ultimate of Victor on that stun, and things could just go crazy for KGX. Like I have it constructed in my mind already how they're gonna play it out, because of the team comps pretty solid. They always have the Cyclone, the Wukong knock-ups, so we'll see. But again, for the team of Basagan, they need to find a way, because they lack sustain. They need to find a way to make the team comp work. They need to pick off fast, and I think they need to be aggressive for this one.
Alright, here we go. Final game of the day. It's Team Basagan going up against KGX. Let's see how this pans out in a fight in the play-in stage. Guys, in case you just tuned in, you're watching Liga Republika. Day number 2 ang ating play-in stage, where 3 out of 17 teams will qualify for the group stage for 4 days of play-ins. So this is day 2 out of day 4 ng play-ins. And then next week, we're gonna have the group stage. And then the week after that, we're gonna have the playoffs. So patindi ng patindi ang laban natin dito sa Liga Republika. And I'm all for it. All of the players performing at top level.
Yeah, hashtag palikha ng alamat is
Yes, sir.
the theme for our Liga Republika of this year. So yeah, things are just getting better and better. So more things coming your way, pretty sure. And the teams are just getting started on this tournament. So
make sure to comment, guys. So, pakita nyo yung support nyo sa ating dalawang teams dito. And pakita nyo rin yung support sa any players that you are rooting for today's games, of course, and for any of the days to come. This is just day 2. Marami pang araw na natitira para sa Liga Republika. Simula pa lang to ng paglikha ng alamat sa Liga Republika. And of course, papatuloy lang tayo. Malay natin, ito na palang taon na may team tayo na makapasok sa international tournaments. With MSI going on as well, I think it really sets up the hype for Liga Republika dito. No? But I'm getting carried away dito because of the matchup at hand. Again, this is the final matchup of our first or second day dito. And the compositions you can see on your very screen as we head into Summoner's Rift in a little bit. So guys, comment nyo lang. We'll try to shout out yung mga nandyan sa baba. Shout out kay Crackhead Kraken. Yon. One of our official co-streamers. Yan, sabi niya, Kraken GX, pag nanalo kayo, may Jollibee kayo sa akin. Uy, si Boss Crackhead in the comment section. Shout out sa'yo, boss. Good luck sa match nyo for today.
alright, so we're moments away from starting. Here we go, the last game for today. KGX going against Basagan.
Yes, sir. Ano kayang babasagin ng Basagan dito?
We're about to find out.
At ano ipapakita ng KGX? Remember guys, KGX, one of the teams that's been making a lot of noise in the grassroots scene. And here's the thing about KGX, no, they look good on paper. I mean, you saw the drafting. Ang ganda ng draft nila. And let's see just how good their micro is.
Yeah, because they need to. Or their comp complements the micros on this game. So we'll see if things really get in their way. And let's see how aggressive they could get for the side of Basagan.
Excited to see what Basagan have to show us. Interesting IGNs. Basagan. Yeah, let's see what they can do with this unconventional comp, I would say. Storm on the Diana. Lot of carries on this composition.
True.
The Yone Kaisa. A lot of scaling potential. But not a lot of bases to cover deficiencies of their comp. What do I mean by that? Wala silang solid frontline. Wala silang masyadong teamfight setup apart from the big ults that they have on the Yone, Diana, and the Nami. When you use all of that, what then? When it doesn't work, what then? Let's see, Basagan, how can you execute with this sort of high-stakes composition?
Yeah, and if you look over to the comp though, you mentioned earlier they have a lot of hyper carries on the side of Basagan. So I think the thing that really bothers my mind is who are they gonna hyper carry? Because if you compare it to the last game, they have only one Kaisa. It's gonna be the name, but here they have the Yone, they have the Diana, they have the Kaisa. So again, they have to act fast. They have to be super aggressive so they know the prio for their team. And again, they have no solid front for Basagan.
Now, this bot lane has to go well for Basagan, no? Especially considering this is a Lucian Leona combo we're talking about.
Yeah, pure
Pag
CC.
nahuli ka ng Leona dyan, level 3, it's a lot of damage. I think the one thing that people don't account a Leona for is that early game damage. Minsan nakakagulat din eh, how
Yeah.
much damage a Leona could have. Pataas din, especially when you don't have a dedicated tank to deny that Leona. So, this Kaisa Nami combo has to play very actively for now. Very passively indeed.
Yeah, for the matchup though, Kaisa, Nami, Lucian, and Leona, it's gonna be tough for the Nami Kaisa because again, the way the front is being offered for the Leona, the backup damage from the Lucian, I've got that passive, the double hit passive from Lucian is really gonna punish them whenever Leona gets someone locked in. So they have to play safe. I like the way that they're playing safe right now for the side of Basagan bot lane because that's only the thing they can do right now because if they get a little bit aggressive, Leona, Lucian, it's scary.
Alright.
So in the top side,
You know what?
Uh-huh.
Something I never realized, Creo. Magkamukha pala si Mordet tsaka si Sayan.
on that skin, yeah. You didn't even know which is which until you see the weapons.
Alright. A bit of a slow start for both teams, as I kind of expected. Kasi, take a look at the map, no? Sayan not necessarily the one to look for early fights unless, you know, that's a lethality Sayan, which is it not in this case. And then you take a look at the mid laner of KGX, it's a Victor. It's not gonna do anything but farm.
Yeah,
until maybe level 6, level 8, something like that. But even then, I'm not sure kung papalag ba yung Victor natin. The only place where we could potentially see action is perhaps in the bottom lane with Iril. Pero so far, maganda yung pag-dodge ng BSG on the bot side from the Leona engages. So,
this bot
Speaking of-
lane, Ford going so low already. Kaisa as able to burn the flash. Both flash has burned just to get the safety back.
yep. As I was saying, tinamaan ng hook storm.
First blood.
Oh.
And that's going to be the first blood going to the side of KGX. A little bit overextend. I like the aggression, but it didn't pay off well on that one.
Yeah, a little too deep. Mula sa Diana natin na BSG. Feeling the pressure a little bit on that bottom side exchange. I feel like Storm felt like he needed to do something in response to the bullying of the bot lane. Ended up having to extend a little bit too deep into the enemy blue side. So napunish siya doon ni Vienna. Good punishment from the Wukong. And that leaves KGX with the first blood. First Drake spawning up. It's the Chemtech dito, Creo. But as we've noticed, no, not a lot of priority for the first Chemtech Drake. So instead, yung Void Grubs yung mas nakikita natin na may priority unless there's a team fight on the bottom side.
I mean, that's what I noticed ever since last year. Even the Worlds, if you recall the Worlds last year, both teams, they fight more on the Grubs compared to the DRs. Because again, the pushing potential for Grubs, you need it to get that early scale.
And you get so much more out of it. No? So much more immediate value. Especially with the limited time that you can just get the third plating dito. So, yeah, it makes absolute sense to do that. Void Grubs spawning in a little bit.
Oh, we get Flash here coming from the Leon. And Kaisel being locked up already. Kaisel will be going down Vienna's.
Yes, and as I say, the bottom side proactivity finally coming to shine here. And both of those kills going in the way of Vienna's. The Wukong gonna be absolutely deadly as they turn towards the Chemtech. Ayun na nga. They will take the first objective of this game. The first 2 kills as well. And it is a very rough start for the bot lane of BSG.
Having one of their hyper carries down on the early stage, delaying the itemization of the Kaisa. I mean, yeah, that's tough. I do agree. But there's still a huge window of potential here for Basagan in this early game because they need to be aggressive. But in the top side, we do see that Diana venturing to the top side will not engage. Never mind.
Yeah, it is a Sion after all na merong ulti now. So very hard to catch.
It can really just burst down a Sion, man.
Exactly. Especially when its first item is Spectre's Cowl.
Yeah.
Medyo makunat talaga yan up against 2 ability power champs. Nasa Mordekaiser and the Diana. So,
Kaisa getting caught
side.
again a second time, trying to survive. The Ignite is out. Also, the damage coming from the Leon. It's going to be stunned again. He goes down for the second time.
And that's the feat of warfare secured by Reform for KGX as well. 1-0-1 and 2 assists for the Leona. A bottom side start that KGX absolutely welcomes. A 1,000 gold lead in the pocket of that Lucian as well is very welcome. So this is a dream scenario for KGX. All the while, even the Victor is having an easy time against the Yone.
I'm surprised, honestly. Because again, it's hard to really engage much if you're a Victor against a Yone. But they know what they do. They know the spacing. They know how to use their skills at the right time. But the Grubs is up here at the top side and being taken ready for the side of KGX. But just to add to earlier, yeah, I'm quite confused on how the movements are being shown here for the bottom lane of PSG. They know they're gonna have a tough time in lane, but they tend to like get the minion waves to the middle of their lane, which gives a huge potential for ganks, huge potential for Leona to dive in. So if I were there, I'd probably do my best to like keep it safe because you're not gonna be ahead of a Sion Leona combo at the early stage of the game.
The thing is, you can only freeze the lane for so long, right? Eventually, it will come back. Anyway, oh my goodness.
Vienna's doing work.
Teka lang, Creo, KGX are melting BSG. I mean, I can't find the words because this early game, it wasn't supposed to go like this. But it's 4-0 and it's not even 10 minutes in yet. Okay?
That damage
Good
from
pull.
Mode was getting a little bit spicy there on that Lucian. But going back, yeah, I do see things are looking quite rough on the side of BSG. As rotation-wise, gank-wise, all of it has been pretty good for KGX thus far.
Alright. And the thing is, every single thing na nakukuha ng KGX, walang nagsasagot ang BSG. First Drake, walang nakuha BSG. First Void Grubs, all 3 secured by KGX. And then the first 4 kills, there is no trade back. And that bodes poorly for BSG, who, remember, has 2 hyper carries in their comp. Now they're both behind. Yung may mga deaths ngayon sa BSG is the Yone and the Kaisa and the Diana too. So those are the ones that they need to scale. And those are the ones that are losing the most for BSG. And this is looking rough for beginners, for starters. And it's only gonna get worse because this is a Lucian who just picked up the Essence Reaver.
Oh no. So Lucian having this early start, 1-0-1 KDA so far with the lead over the Kaisa. it's just comfortable right now for the Lucian. It's just anything being thrown at him by the Leona, just follow it up. He has the damage. He is ahead in the laning phase. So nothing to lose right now for Lucian. All you need to do for Basagan, get the ganks. Even if you knock up here. I thought the guys will be going hard, but they know the danger. So smart move there from BSG to not engage.
Is it though?
Vienna's though, Storm! Look at that damage and the follow-up stun again and Rampage! Vienna's work again here and not done. He tries to go more and okay, I thought he's gonna make a dive play, but incredible play there coming from Vienna's. Another easy kill, having a 4-0-0 KDA. Good start here for KGX.
Great start for them. Reformed. Kahit half HP siya, hindi siya takot because he knows that the Wukong is around the area. Meanwhile, speaking of Wukong, Vienna's in
Vienna's
there.
again starting to do work. Seiji, he knows he's low. He knows he has the damage. The Yone trying his best. Okay, was able to dash out and disengage.
My goodness, this is slim pickings. Para sa PSG, wala silang makuha na anything on the map. Can't even get a little bit of lane control for the bottom side, which is crucial because the dragon is spawning up in literally 5 seconds or less. There you go. Infernal Drake as well, crucial. Iril.
Oh, nice prediction coming from Leona. Gets the Yone, but the follow-up will not be kind of late. And oh man, that was a smooth. That was a smooth prediction coming from.
Yeah.
Real.
Beautiful. from
Iril.
Iril. That could have been deadly if may mas malapit
No,
na
if Vienna
backup
was
doon,
nearby, that could have been a burst
Yeah.
down. 100%.
The Hex Flash from Iril doing the brunt work for KGX. 3 assists to set up the Lucian and the Wukong, who now has both completed their first items. And crucially as well, Blackfire Torch secured for Victor. So BSG, they're really lacking on the damage department.
Yeah, and also if you check out again the lineup, it's they have no setter. I mean, Diana is a setter, but they have no main setter because I know to utilize Diana's ult well, you need a setter to set up your set, if you know what I mean.
That's true. That makes sense.
You're gonna ult in the middle. So if you are the only setter for your team as the Diana, and you have a Leona, you're just gonna get stunned 2 times in a row. Having the ultimate.
You can basically say the same thing for a Yone, right? You need a setter for
Your
a
set.
really solid set.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the tragedy of this composition for BSG. No? They picked the Nami just to deny it, but I think they fell a little bit too hard into the reactive drafting.
Oh, the Hex
That
Flash.
now they've got so little tools to react to this Leona from Iril.
Okay, we got
Laban sila
reformed. He knows the danger and will be falling back.
Yeah. Can't find anything. Hindi sila makapag-engage. As you said, because of the fact that they don't have a lot of engage tools. You know, pumasok dito si Seiji. But he ended up the one to retreat.
Oh,
because,
Vienna's
my name is
Storm!
just so much
Oh
stronger.
my god, that damage coming from Vienna. Storm in trouble and then he'll be going down again. But he's not on Vienna's once more. Forces. Oh, that's stun! And that's gonna be a beautiful double kill here coming from Vienna's.
This is just massacre from KGX. Vienna's is literally running them down. One-shotting, one comboing Storm, and walks up to the Drake like nothing happened. KGX with a 5,000 gold lead before 15-minute mark. It's full control for KGX.
I mean, I can't really say anything that really glaze on Basagan. Because, I don't know, their team comp has damage but lack of sustain and, again, solid setter. They have 2 setters, but their setters are the one who needs a setter to make them set. I know I sound crazy, but that's how it goes. For a Yone and a Diana, for example, if we have let's say Brom to start your set, followed by Diana, that could work pretty well.
Or something like a Nautilus, for example.
Yeah, Nautilus.
Hope
Like,
someone
any
gets someone
kind
in
of
there.
tanky setter will do pretty well for their team comp.
Yeah. And you can see the struggle as well, especially running from behind. Kailangan kasi maghanap ng fights ng PSG to just try and get some of this bounty back. But the fact is, they can't even get close to the bot side. Ilang beses na in-attempt mag-Killer Instinct ni Fort sa bot side. But the problem is hindi nila mahuli yung Lucian eh. Yes, pwede siya mag-killer instinct papasok. But how are they gonna kill the Lucian when it's not CC? When it's an item and a half ahead of the enemy Kai'Sa? There's not much you can do, so they need a little bit more CC in the way.
Yeah.
And hindi rin makarotate si Seiji because he doesn't have the tower anymore. He can't leave mid. Storm is getting invaded every 2 minutes, and as I say that, tinaw si Vienna's papasok na naman.
Oh no! He has no clue. Vienna's hunting down, forces the flash out just for safety. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, the Nami can only do so much. The bubble is always going to be 50-50. Tidal wave again could potentially start the clash, but he got caught again as Fort will try his best to survive to get the tidal wave from Nami for the safety only of the team. And you just feel the dominance right now from KGX. Everyone is doing good. All 5 members are doing pretty solid here for KGX.
Good bailout from Psych actually to keep Fourth alive. But the problem is they invested everything just to keep that guy alive. And here comes Call My Name. Will be spotted by the ward.
Seiji is nearby though.
Dito. They could look up for something.
It is warded.
Seiji.
That damage. Vienna's hunting down Seiji. Seiji in trouble. Getting the damage. Get the cycle out here coming from Vienna. And OT doesn't survive. But he'll be going down as well. Diana and the 2 carries for the side of BSG goes down hard. But they're not done yet. Trying to get the Nami. Kai'Sa Fort is at the back, but Psyche also goes down. Kai'Sa in deep waters as everyone, 4 of them at the bot side. They do have the RH as well. Okay, nice dodge, but I think it's still going down as there it is. Reform, finish the job, and that's going to be a 4-for-0 trade for KGX.
Yeah, KGX just getting the punish onto BSG. You can see BSG nauna sila mag-rotate but a little bit of indecisiveness left them in a bit of a lull state. And KGX just pounced. Pumasok lang sila. And you can see Seiji hovering around the area too. Could have started a fight but did not. And it eventually just bit them back later on. 11-0 game tayo dito with a 8,000 to 9,000 gold lead for KGX. And still a single player yet to die for KGX. This is looking perfect, creo.
Yeah, perfect for KGX, tough for BSG. And I just gotta mention, in the top side, it's just like a Aram game. Nothing's happening in the top side. Like the two bruisers just doing, we're just gonna stay at the side here. You guys do your thing on the mid and bot side while we try to get each other down. But again, the aggression coming from KGX, denying Storm to get the blue buff, as they have no answers here for BSG. Absolutely no answers thus far in the game.
They do not. Not a single one, not a single kill. Literally, not a single objective either. Tingnan mo yung right side ng stat bar natin dito. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Not a single turret even.
This is tough for BSG.
And there is a line. Like, when we see scaling comps, there is a line where they can hold, right? Kahit behind sila, dun sa line na yun, they can still come back eventually. And I hold that line at around the 5,000 gold area. As long as hindi lumagpas sa 5,000 gold, pwede pa mga comeback ang BSG. Pero lagpas na eh. The worst part is, wala pang 20 minutes. Lagpas na tayo sa 5k gold lead. So, what else can BSG do other than buy time? Can they even buy time?
No, if they buy time, it's just gonna make things worse. Because look, I'm trying to be as neutral as I can, but if you're seeing what's happening to the game, Wukong is 7-0-1 with good damage already. Have a Thunder Sky and Triforce can easily burst down the Kai'Sa, even the Nami. So, if I was BSG on this current state of the game, I actually don't know how to make an upside in the game because
just play base.
I'm really, guys, as a caster's job, I try my best to be really neutral but things are not looking good for BSG.
And here's the thing, Creoles. Now we are seeing things as they are,
Yeah.
and the fact is, BSG is 8,000 gold behind. There's not much they can do, so I say just play base, play D, play to the towers, give away all the outer towers, tier 1, tier 2, bigay nyo na,
Oh
and
my
just
God,
play
damage.
really safely for that late game buy as much time as you can, get as much gold as you can for 4th on the Kaisa, and pray for the best because there's literally nothing else they could do for the moment. Even the Victor, who's supposed to scale to the late game, is now already pretty strong. So they can't really take any fights. Maybe they could take a fight if they catch Reform, but it's really hard to do that with Reform being so mobile and so protected by
Yeah.
Iril on this Leona. And even if they get the catch on Reform, they don't have enough vision to supplement where the rest of the enemy team is. So BSG, the only thing that they can do, I think, is play defense. Just don't die.
And as we have this line that always sticks to my heart, there's always a choke point. So if I was BSG, I would be praying for a choke point to happen. As we do see the Morde, I think it's gonna be trouble. Forces a flash, but again the CC chain from Leona getting all those. Okay, good sustain from the Morde, but I think that's not gonna be enough sustain as the team has no damage. His team has no damage. It's gonna be nice. Okay, the enemy ultimate. Nice walk up from the Wukong. Double kill here coming from Reform. And Team BSG running for their lives. Vienna's the legendary. And that's just gonna be another one-sided team fight coming from KGX.
Yeah, it's pretty tragic to witness that from BSG because they hit all their skill shots. They hit the Yone ults. They had a good setup with the Diana, but KGSX just tanked everything. They didn't take any damage. And it's just because Lugi sila. Lugi sila sa item. BSG doesn't have any
binasag eh.
items in the bank. Masyadong makunat yung players ng KGX because of how far ahead they are. I mean, it's 11,000 yung lamang dito ng KGX getting the attack-han as well. So,
Hirap.
as I said, they can't take fights. Just play defense. Just stay afloat.
Kasi tanong dito, how can they play D? How? Like they have no.
I mean, that's
they
not,
have no solid
that's
front.
that's a different problem altogether. just do it.
Paano? Diba? Yeah. I'm just looking the way at things that this is being shown to me. But KGX has good momentum in the game, man. Basagan.
I mean, yeah, there's not much we can say about the game. Just play defense, BSG. Ayun lang yung pwede nila gawin. At this point, they don't really have options. Apart from that, minimize damage and wave clear. Hope for the best para sa kanila, no? I mean, the silver lining para sa kanila naman.
Okay,
is we
again,
have a lot of
Vienna's
wave clear.
in the bot side. Again, trying to burst him down. Yo, Seiji will
Oh
be going
my
down
goodness.
easily on this one. As against BSG, still no answers for KGX.
Yun na nga eh. Kahit yung siguro 2 centimeters away from the tier 2 tower, they still get picked up.
Because meron silang dive potentials kasi. So many dive
Yeah.
potential. Having the Leona ult as very far away. Again, Vienna's with the dash from the Wukong. Ang dami na pwedeng gawin. So if again, Kaisa is a late gamer. Okay, let's say we go to late game. Which we're almost in late game. It's hard kasi wala silang front. It's like a solid front. They don't have much sustain. They have so many hyper carries, but they're hyper carries if you look at KDA 04, 05, 05. And it's sad to say that, honestly. Kasi
There's, not to mention,
they're trying.
not to mention, yes, 04, sometimes the score doesn't reflect it, but the items do. Look, fourth, just a Kraken Slayer, pero si Reformed, may IE, may Essence Reaver, may Nabori pa. 3 items for the
man.
Lucian, and it's just no contest.
Storm
Devil.
again at the middle of the trouble. Gets stunned and he'll be going down. Also, Kaiser goes down on the top side. Victor.
More.
Oh, man.
2 kills down. And KGX, that is another dragon spawning. If makuha nila yun, it's gonna be their 4th dragon of the game. 4th drake of the game.
I believe one change champion for the side of BSG could work well. Maybe just get one front that has a set. can do wonders for them. It's just they focus so much on engage and damage that they lack the most important thing, which is defense.
Imagine if they went Aatrox. No, not Aatrox. Maybe something like a set on the top lane. Kahit Ornn siguro, no?
Ornn!
On the
Ornn
top
will
lane.
be so good. Really good for the side of BCSG. Kasi Morty, yeah, he did tank earlier at the top side, but his team has no damage. Yeah, they're
I would've
getting
picked
free
something-
hits, they're getting all the good spacing, but they're not doing much, unfortunately.
Ultimately, problema talaga sa draft. It started with the Nami counter pick, but ang hirap kasi counter ng isang Lucian when it's already picked up. No?
Yeah.
So, it all went downhill for there. Sana nagkaroon sana sila ng initiator on the bottom side. They didn't have that since they had the Nami, so they needed a tank, but they also tried to counter pick both solo laners, which ended for BSG having somewhat of a weird comp dito. So, yeah, you see the struggles in sort of the drafting phase pa lang, no? So BSG trying to pick up the pieces, and obviously it hasn't worked out a lot for them, leaving them with just a singular option, which I keep bringing up. Just play defense, play safely. Baron, kinukuha na dito ng KGX. BSG, medyo malayo pa nga. And they don't even plan on contesting.
They
Nakita
can't. They can't contest. They really
Yeah.
can't contest. Because if they do, that's going to be the last clash of the game. As right now, we do have here the Sion trying to engage with the team, and it's going to be an easy kill again here for the side of KGX. We do have the Kai'Sa going down at the top side. It's going to be a little bit of a duel here coming from Diana, from Victor and the Yone, but Yone can't sustain as triple kill at a mid side here for the Lucia Reform. Get things going, gets things more on a power train here for KGX, and the CC chain, easy kill again for Reform.
Yeah, and that's 4-0 in favor of KGX as they turn toward the Nexus. Uubusin na ang Team Basagan. Walang kahit isang nabasag para sa KGX. That is gonna conclude the first perfect game of the day. Kraken GX 23-0. The perfect game against Basagan. What a way to close out that game. Kiores, I can see you're speechless.
Because the opportunities from Basagan's lineup, it's good, but they just lack defense, sustain, which for the side of KGX was able to deliver really well. Was able to scale from the Wukong early kills, just to add to that. And it's just a well-rounded comp. We said this earlier during the draft. I think you said it. The team comp is well-rounded. They can do any kind of playstyle that they really want to do. But for the side of Basagan, so much potential, but they can't really have a prio. They have no defense. They can only do so much. So it's gonna be based on paper. I really kind of know what's gonna happen because I said earlier I could already imagine the team fight coming from KGX, which it happened. The follow-up stuns, the Victor ult, Wukong just deleting the back lane, did it wonderfully, by the way. And KGX has this one-sided game, all their waves to the victory over Basagan.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, Creoles, no? And I would say na hindi lang to nalilimita sa drafting difference or playstyle difference. I think fundamental yung skill level dito is just different between Kraken GX and Team Basagan. Because it's very rare that you get to see a perfect game for a team. It's very rare that you play it perfectly from the drafting up to the execution with the enemy not getting a single thing off the map. And I think that boils down to the fact na mas pulido lang talaga ang playstyle dito ng Kraken GX. Mas madaming laro na silang nalaro, mas malalakas na yung kalaban na nakalaban nila. And Basagan, kulang yung experience nila talaga compared sa Kraken GX. Because apart from the fact na talo sila sa drafting dito, Creo, every single lane also lost.
Yeah.
Barring none. I mean, take a look at the scores dito sa damage dealt graph natin, no? The numbers, the graph itself might be misleading kasi mukhang magkasing laki sila, no? Pero if you take a look at the scores, not a single player died para sa Kraken GX dito. Pero sa Team Basagan, every single one lost their lanes, no? Kahit yung Mordekaiser, which is specifically tailored for 1v1s, still even lost the top lane. I think na-highlight talaga nito kung gaano kataas ng level ang Kraken GX dito compared to Team Basagan. So I am very much excited to see them in the latter stages. A team that's made a lot of noise in grassroots now entering the big stage.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see ano magagawa nila against the big names.
Yeah, actually, I do have some infos about Kraken GX because I see them over at my social medias. And yeah, they are again making some noise at the grassroots tournaments, and they delivered beautifully here at their game against Basagan. And I also like the way that they Alright, by the way, guys, here are the highlights from the game. With beautiful plays coming from KGX, where again this is a perfect game with their opposing team having 0 score. Pero yun nga, going back to what I'm saying, Dado. I'm surprised that the Yone was able to capitalize on the mismatch that he has against the Victor. Kasi the rotation talaga is gonna be solid for KGX.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered naman, hindi kasi full on counter, di ba? Ang isang Yone compared to something like, for example, something na full counter I would say is like a Malphite versus Ayaso. That's a full counter.
Yeah.
But Ione against a Victor, it's still very skill dependent. At the end of the day, Ione is still very immobile. When you don't have E, don't have ult, immobile si Ione, So Victor can still poke the heck out of Ione if the Ione, doesn't know the weaknesses of a Victor. And current state of the meta, Victor doesn't seem to have a lot of weak points. I mean, MSI proves that. The amount of priority Victor is getting, the amount of priority a hyper-scaling immobile mage champ is getting in an international stage is unusually high because of how strong the Victor is in the current state of the meta. And I think this game really highlights that. Supposed to struggle a little bit against Ione, did not because, again, of the fundamental difference in skill talaga dito. Napakaganda ng pinakita dito, KGX. You have one more new fan, naming Daedum, and I will be watching from here on out.
Actually, 2 fans. Me too.
Okay.
And yeah, going back to the highlights, you see the sustain that Amorde did on that top side. Good sustain, but absolutely no damage from the Yone. You saw the Kaisa trying to get someone down, pero wala eh.
Yeah.
Ang hirap talaga sila on that game. Kaya KGX with a beautiful game that was. Our first perfect game of today, and maybe more soon. Wink, wink.
Hopefully we get to see
They're
them
strong.
get out
They're really strong
of the play-in stage, at makapasok sana sila ng group stage. So congratulations sa ating winners for today. Of course, kung kakarating nyo lang guys, a quick recap of the teams that won. It's KGX, Amigos Esports, and of course, ano nga ba yung first team natin na nanalo dito? Hindi ko na siya makita. But yes, it
Serene
was
Brews Esports.
Serene Brew. Yes, there you go. Serene Brew Esports. Congratulations to those 3 teams. Pero guys, in case you're confused, hindi pa sila ang pasok. We will still have games going on in the background at i-announce namin ang top 3 teams na pasok sa group stage at the end of the day. So if you are looking to find out kung sino yung mga teams na yon, make sure to drop a follow sa ating League of Legends page if you haven't already. Dito kami nag-a-announce ng lahat ng mga events ng League of Legends Philippines at ng broadcast dates na rin ng Liga Republika, which is where you are watching right now. And in case you're just tuning in, this is just day number 2. Marami pang araw ang natitira para sa Liga Republika.
And much more coming your way indeed. 4 days of this qualifiers, and things are just getting heated up. Tsaka, ang ganda kasi ng mga nangyari today. So, first game, we had a roller coaster game of ups and downs. Second game, one of the most stable games that we had on that game 2. Game 3, one-sided. Pero, again guys, we do have games being played at the background, but the standout champion for today is going to be the Wukong, with a peak rate of 28.57, ban rate no banned yet, win rate 50%.
Which is a little bit surprising to me. I was expecting we'd see more pantheons in the jungling side of things, but this is the one thing I love about the PH scene. Yung mga Pilipino, Creo, a bit of context sa mga professional Filipino players natin ng League of Legends. they don't care about the meta. Usually,
I mean, they have their own meta sometimes, yeah.
they play whatever they want and somehow it works. And this is an example of that. No?
Yes.
Wukong is still, well, not to discredit Wukong. Wukong's still pretty decent in the current side of the meta. Just not top tier, but still very, very good. Ito, tanong ng Liga for today, anong kwentong comp shop mo? Guys, comment nyo dyan sa comments below at pwede kayong ma-feature bukas sa stream natin ng Liga Republika. Tama, may stream naman tayo bukas, di ba? Yes.
We do.
Tomorrow meron tayong stream ng Liga Republika. So, anong kwentong comp shop mo? Ikaw ba, Creo? May kwentong comp shop ka ba?
After school, straight to the comp shop.
Classic. Ako, may kwentong comp shop ako eh. Meron akong isang friend, nagngangalang Dash. Used to be a pro player. Tapos kami, every time nagkikita kami sa comp shop, ano yan eh, malaking comp shop siya. Tapos siguro 150 PC. Pero pag nagkikita kami sa comp shop na yon, boses lang namin yung maririnig. Kasi sigawan kami ng sigawan. Those were good times. Good times. Comp shop days. But yeah, guys, comment down below ang inyong kwentong comp shop. And of course, comment nyo din ang team na sinusuportahan nyo kung may gusto kayong shoutout. But that concludes our stream for today. Maraming salamat sa pagtutok sa Liga Republika. Bukas, manood ulit kayo because we've got 18 more teams to showcase tomorrow and a brand new set of teams to play for the group stage.
And guys, thank you for everyone that supported today's stream. Shout out to everyone, all the supporters from the stream. Also, shout out to the back end of our production. Everyone working hard for this event and for this tournament. And that is about it, guys. Thank you for today. I'm Prioles, and we have Dadum together with me. And we'll see you at the next one.
Tell me, babe, you wanna leave this town? I'm saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. 'Cause darling, we were made for bigger things. This place keeps killing our dreams. Let's go, love, I'm saying it's tired of waiting. We could leave this whole place behind, yeah. Let's go.